Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming to you from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world, movies, movie news, TV, and streaming, and all sorts of good things. Guys, we got a lot to talk about here today. Kevin Feige just confirmed that if they have Daredevil in the MCU, it's going to be played by Charlie Cox. Spider-Man No Way Home is now on track to maybe be the second biggest opening weekend in cinematic history. We'll talk about that a bit. Speaking of Spider-Man, Tom Holland is going to star in a Fred Astaire biopic. That sounds cool. A new Matrix Resurrections trailer has dropped. Whole bunch of stuff here today, and I'm not talking alone. Of course, we got Kimberly Ann Curran with us today. Kimberly, how you doing?
Hey guys, I'm doing Spiderific.
Oh, is that
Spiderific today?
Spiderific, yeah. And sitting right beside her is the equally arachnophobic. No, that's Aaron is arachnophobic, but Ray is here. Ray, how you doing?
Happy Monday.
And by the way, Ray and I and Ann just wanted to point this out. Yesterday, we went over to the Los Angeles Comic-Con.
Yes,
we went to the LA Comic-Con this year. I got to meet Leslie Ann Brandt finally. She plays Mazikeen in Lucifer. It's crazy. I've never met her. She is one of my favorite characters in one of my all-time favorite shows, and she's like Aaron Cummings' best friend, and I've never met her until we went. So I walked into her picture room. She goes, "John and Ann." I'm like, "Yeah." So we got to meet. Funny. But I had a chance to meet a couple of other people as well. We had a chance to meet Benedict Wong, which is really cool. He was so funny because as we were waiting to get our picture taken, he came out into the waiting room and started this big chant. He just came out in the waiting room, started going, "Wong, Wong, 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 Wong," and everybody got into it, which is really funny.
Humble brag.
Now, you might see, between us, they had this weird thing in the picture area. They had this single sheet of plexiglass hanging down to separate you from the talent. Hey, you know what? And that's totally cool. Pandemic era.
We're still in a pandemic.
Want to be safe. I get it. But it's funny because Ann and I walked in and he totally walked around it and came to us, shook our hands. He goes, "How you guys doing? How you guys doing?" And then he went back over to his side. He goes, "Serious or fun?" We're like, "I don't know, serious." So then he gave this big, when he did this big serious pose. That was great. And we also got to meet, I was really excited about this. We got to meet Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh, I just love him.
Who is, of course, Gus Fring in Breaking Bad, and he's Moff Gideon.
Vought CEO.
He's in The Boys.
God, I love him.
He's great. And it's so funny because we saw him signing an autograph, and somebody's like, "Oh," because all the other people signing autographs had the plexiglass, and they're like, "Is it cool if we put our arm around you?" He goes, "Yeah, man, I'm the Vax Life. And you guys are vaxxed too, right?" Because you had to show your vaccination proof to get in. We're like, "Yeah." He goes, "Then bring it in. I'm giving away awkward hugs." And then he gets up and he starts yelling to the whole auditorium, "I'm giving away awkward hugs. Come over and get awkward hugs."
Sweetheart.
Which is just like, he was great. He was really wonderful. So
that sounds like real, genuine energy and real love. Like you can tell when someone's phoning it in. And that just sounds like that was a real, genuine guy. That's cool.
He was absolutely great. He had a lot of energy. He complimented Ann on her outfit and stuff like that. So it's like, that was good. So that was our fun little time at the Los Angeles convention yesterday. It was great. Hey guys, listen, a little bit of housekeeping here. Want to remind you, if you guys can't get your fix, your daily fix of the John Campea Show because you can't be in front of a YouTube video, maybe you're commuting, you're at work, maybe you're at the gym. Good news. There's a podcast version, an audio-only podcast version of the show called the John Campea Show Podcast. It is available on all the popular podcasting platforms, whatever podcasting app you use. Just go to it today, search for the John Campea Show Podcast, and subscribe to it so it is there when you need it. And all of us here at the John Campea Show, thank you guys very much for subscribing and being a part of that. Okay, guys. There's a couple of things for us that we need to talk about off the top. So let's get to those right now. And the first thing we're going to talk about is this. Now, obviously, you can't talk about the most popular film franchises of all time. I mean, obviously, there's some names that are going to come up. Obviously, Star Wars. Obviously, Lord of the Rings. Obviously, you're going to talk James Bond. But if you're going to talk about the most popular film franchises of all times, one of the things you have to mention is Harry Potter. You got to talk about Harry Potter. I mean, those are films that some of them got into the billions. Overall, the franchise made billions. One of the most popular book series of all time, all that sorts of good stuff. Now, not too long ago, we found out that HBO, who had tremendous success when they did a reunion special for Friends, they did a reunion special for Friends, and it was wonderful. I'm not even the biggest Friends fan in the world, but I watched the Friends reunion on HBO and it was like, that was really well done. Like it was really, really good. So anyway, of course, HBO shortly ago talked about the fact they're going to be doing a Harry Potter reunion where they're getting all the original cast back and they're going to be talking about the making of and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not a Potterhead, but I think this sounds pretty cool. Now, since I'm not a Potterhead, I thought maybe I'm not the best person to talk about the fact that they just put out their first teaser today for that Harry Potter thing. And I watched it. I'm like, this feels pretty damn nostalgic. Seeing the original actors getting their Hogwarts invitations and stuff like that. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I'm not even a big Hogwarts guy. I'm not a huge Harry Potter guy. I like the movies, but that's it. So I thought for this, it might be good for us to reach out to somebody who is a big Harry Potter fanatic, somebody who does put on her Hogwarts school academy attire whenever we go to see a Harry Potter movie. So we've got, she's known as the Queen. She is known as A-Cakes. She is known as the Dirty A-Sizzle. I just made that one up, honey. I hope you don't mind. The Dirty A-Sizzle. Ann Campea is here to talk a little bit about this with her wand. How you doing, baby?
Hi, everyone. I just came back from wiping my face because I was crying over that teaser trailer.
Were you crying over it? So, okay. So out of the two of us, honey, you are the bigger Harry Potter fan. You are a huge Harry Potter fan. From the day that we met, we've gone to all those things. Now, I know you also really liked that Friends reunion thing they did on HBO.
It was great.
So do you think it's a good idea for them to do this Harry Potter one? And how did you feel watching the teaser of it?
Is it a good idea? Come on. It's 20 years since the first movie came out. It's time. It's honestly, it's time for this to happen. I think all of the actors are so far removed now from that world and that genre that I think it's the appropriate moment to bring everybody back together. And the trailer, the little teaser itself was exactly what you want in a teaser. It had the music, it had just the way they shot it. They had everybody receiving their invitations, which was so cute. And the nice thing is you see the actor who plays Hagrid, who is normally in that.
Yeah, Coltrane.
Yeah. And normally in the whole getup, and the fact that, they're showing him first as the actor receiving his invite to go to the reunion rather than him in the full like Hagrid costume. That's pretty awesome. You see like Neville's profile, and then you see Arthur trying to get onto the platform at 9 3/4. So, yeah, I mean, and I think, and I don't know what you guys thought, but I think that's the back of Emma Watson's head. Is that her at the end of
that's
it?
That's what I perceived, but
I didn't know, because I thought it might be another one of the actresses, because it didn't seem like they had, any of the big three. It seemed like they didn't have Daniel, they didn't have Rupert, so I just assumed that maybe that might have been another actress, but it could have been Emma. I almost said Emma Stone. It could have been Emma Watson, I suppose. So when's it coming out? January 1st? Is that when they start coming?
Yeah, it was like January,
first
week of January for sure.
Yes.
Great way to start it off.
So I don't know, like, do you think, let me ask you this, Ray. I almost said Ray, because you're sitting in Ray's seat.
We are siblings.
Yes. What do you think, honey, that there's any chance, and I won't call Ray honey, do you think there's any chance that this could be a precursor to them maybe getting the original cast back together for another movie? Or do you think this is just a special HBO thing and that's it?
I don't know. There's been rumors all the time, right? Like when Cursed Child came out, and now they have that Broadway play, and I don't know. Maybe it's I'm not to say that maybe that it's time for them to want to reunite, because it's been so long and they've gone off and done other projects. So I wouldn't put it out of the question. I just think it's we're in an interesting space where J.K. Rowling is not involved in this entire thing, and for other reasons, obviously. But she is the quote unquote crux of Harry Potter, so I'm not really sure how you do that without her.
Well, I mean, you can't do without her. I mean, she has to approve. I mean, she has to approve even this special happening. Like she has to give her like nothing. Like even at Harry Potter World that we haven't been to in a while since the pandemic, but you and I used to go all the time. But like every brick, every detail, every cart had to be approved by her. So it's going to be interesting to see. But anyway, so I assume, honey, that we have plans for January 1st that we're going to do.
We might have plans earlier because now I'm itching to go back to Harry Potter World right now.
So we had, by the way, guys, that Slytherin jacket and that wand, she didn't just run out and get those because no, these are all things that are like always within arm's reach of where she is and whatever she's doing.
I start all my Zoom calls with this. Be ready to meet.
She goes on to her Apple meetings. Okay, everybody, whatever. What was what's one of the
Spelliarmus.
See, you even knew it. You even knew it off the top of your head. All right, baby. Thanks a lot for coming in to talk a little bit about Harry Potter. Ladies and gentlemen, A-Cakes and Campea, thanks for being here. Go grab your brother who's probably eating all my food out of my fridge right now and send him back in here. So, Ann Campea, ladies and gentlemen, Ann Campea.
I feel like the room has this extra bit of magic now that she stopped in. I feel like we've got like some sparkle in the room.
It's gone, folks.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Now the other Ray, who I promise I will not call sweetheart or baby. So I got to remember that he's back in his seat now.
Next bet you lose.
Next one. Anyway,
you have to call him baby all day.
No, that's not a bet anyone should make.
That's no bet. That
As
is
one
not
man
a bet
to another.
happening.
That's not a bet we're making.
All right, guys. And I got to call him baby while he's wearing that tutu.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay.
No, I lost.
Okay, mute your mic.
All right, guys, question is for you. What did you think about this little teaser for the upcoming Harry Potter reunion special on HBO? Again, as not a major Potterhead myself, I think it looks really, really cool. What did you guys think about it? Jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys, with that down, let's do another off the top here, shall we? And that is this. You know, one of the movies that everybody's looking forward to that I am not is Matrix 4, The Matrix Resurrections. I've already gone ad nauseum about why I'm not excited for it. Big decline in the quality of the Matrix movie after the brilliance of the first one. I don't think the Wachowskis made a couple of the worst films in cinematic history, in my opinion, since that time. And the fact that there's only one Wachowski coming back to even do this one. So I'm not excited for it. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to go see it. But I'd be lying to you if I told you I was excited for it. However, the trailers, well, the first trailer was incredible. I mean,
so good.
So good. You got to give it its due. That trailer looked fantastic. Well, today, a brand new trailer for Matrix Resurrections with War was talked about and came out today. And my first thought was, well, now is where we see how bad this movie is going to be, because that first trailer looked great, but it's not difficult. I mean, lots of terrible movies have great trailers. Now we'll see it. Damn it.
Yeah, man.
This trailer's pretty damn good too. I wouldn't say that this was as good as the first trailer, because that first trailer was just mind-blowingly good with that song, One Pill Makes You Larger. Like that trailer was something damn special. But I got to tell you, there was no sophomore letdown here.
No.
This second trailer, or this next trailer, whatever you want to call it, this is also really good. Seeing him back in his shaved head, real world look, we get a better understanding about kind of the story, and the narrative of this one is going to be a lot about, the point is Trinity.
It all centers around her, it seems like.
This seems to revolve around her and why he's back and all that kind of stuff. We get, we understand now who the new Agent Smith is and all that sort of stuff. Look, again, I'm not going to lie. I am not excited for this movie.
Still, after seeing the second trailer, you're still not excited after seeing the second trailer.
Lots of terrible, terrible movies with awesome trailers. I point you to just about all the Transformers movies and their trailers. I thought the Rise of Skywalker trailers were awesome. And we know how that turned out. So look,
switch.
I am still basing my enthusiasm based on all the facts. You know, the facts of the fact that the Matrix trilogy took a steep decline after the first one. The fact that I think they've made some awful movies since the Matrix. The fact that the only one Wachowski's coming back. I don't see any good reason to be excited. But I mean, these are some damn sweet trailers. If you were just going in cold and these trailers just dropped on my lap and I knew nothing about the decline of the Matrix movies, I knew nothing about the Wachowski films after the Matrix and all that kind of stuff, and you just dropped these trailers on my lap, oh my God, I would be pumped. And I got to say, these look pretty good. Anyway, Kim, you had a chance to check them out. What did you think about it?
So excited. I'm so excited. My favorite part, I still know Kung Fu. I'm so excited. And I heard Jada's voice, but then when they showed her, you didn't know it was her because it looks like her character's like 100 years old. And so I really don't know where the story's going. It kind of feels, certain parts it feels like it's a rebirth, certain parts it feels like, they don't know each other. It's like deja vu. And then certain parts after seeing Jada, I'm like, where's this story going? I'm not like confused. I'm intrigued. I feel like it's like the first one. I feel like they're returning to the magic of the first one instead of that god awful CGI mess of the third one. And I need to get a t-shirt. I still know that says I know Kung Fu. I know Kung Fu on the front and on the back. I still know Kung Fu.
Oh, that's a great idea for a shirt. That would look awesome. I like that a lot.
Merch. Yeah.
Marketing team.
That's going to be really cool.
Marketing team. Ray, you had a chance to step out and watch the trailer for Matrix Resurrections. What did you excited for this?
What I've never been the biggest Matrix fan, only because I kind of don't understand them till this day. But I do love what they did with the first Matrix. I mean, the stuff they did blew my mind, when I watched it.
Right.
And it looks like this one is going to blow my mind too, because like the blaster play that they had in there.
That looked great.
Yeah. And just the action. And it looks very cinematic, like some of the shots in there.
That's actually
beautiful.
That's you're right. It's shot. I mean, that sounds weird to say about a movie. Of course, it's a but no, it felt extremely cinematic. It felt like the cinematography. I'd be very curious to look up who the cinematographer on this is, but the cinematography of it, from what we've seen, looks gorgeous. It looks really good. So look, I don't know how good or bad this Matrix movie is going to be. I just don't know. But I know that the trailers look really damn good. Anyway, question is for you guys. Have you had a chance to see the new Matrix Resurrections trailer? Where's your enthusiasm for the movie right now? What have you thought about the trailers? What did you think about this one specifically? I think it's great. Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With that down, let's do one more off the top, shall we? And that is this. I don't know if you guys have heard that, like, there's been a lot of news out and stuff like that. So this is a movie that may have been buried under the radar for a lot of people, but there's a new Spider-Man movie coming. I don't know if people knew that. There's a new Spider-Man movie coming apparently next month. Or no, apparently just a couple weeks. Like, 10 days, 11 days from now. No, 10 days from now. 10 days from now, there's a new Spider-Man movie coming.
You don't say.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
So crazy.
One of the questions that's been going on around about it is, how's it going to do? Because we live in a very awkward moment right now with the pandemic kind of in recovery mode, but new variants popping up. The report from Variety saying like 49% of regular moviegoers have still not yet gone back to the theaters. And one of their primary concerns is safety and all that kind of stuff. So, and then we see like Fast 9 came out, did not make $1 billion. We had Black Widow come out, did not make $1 billion. Venom 2 right now is the opening weekend box office pandemic era record with $90 million opening weekend, which is very impressive. So the question has been, what is this new Spider-Man movie going to do? Then we had Ticket Watch 2021. And we saw all the tickets sell out. I mean, not all of them. There's a lot of people still reporting
Enough
they
to
can get
crash.
opening day stuff. But the websites all crashed, made a lot. They were guessing anywhere between 150 and 185 million, which is great. Box Office Pro has adjusted their projections for this movie now. Box Office Pro is now saying we are no longer projecting 150 to 185, which is where I was guessing it would be, which is where most of the people in the industry were guessing it was going to be. But they've now adjusted that, saying this movie could be one of the biggest opening weekends in cinematic history, pandemic era or otherwise. Now, this comes to us from the folks over at Screen Rant. They wrote the following. According to Box Office Pro, Spider-Man No Way Home is estimated to earn between, now get this, 190 to 250 million dollars
Holy crap.
domestically in its opening weekend. Even the low end of those projections, 190 million opening, would be the highest opening weekend ever for a Spider-Man movie, easily topping Spider-Man 3's 151.1 million from 2007. As a comparison, Spider-Man Homecoming opened to 117 million, and Spider-Man Far From Home opened with 92.5 million in its opening weekend. That came to us from the folks who are at Screen Rant and Box Office Pro. So even if it comes in at the bottom of Box Office Pro's numbers, we are talking about the biggest Spider-Man movie opening ever. And we are talking, in its low end, a top 10 biggest opening box office weekend in history in a pandemic era. Can you imagine what this would be if, number one, they had Andrew and Toby in the trailers, and if this wasn't a pandemic era?
Yeah.
Let's get back on topic here for a second.
Just imagine.
Before we fall into another bet.
yeah, new bet, Ray.
Keep
New
your pants
bet.
on, guys.
Okay, so we're talking at the low end, 190 being a top 10 biggest opening in history. But what about near its top end? They're guessing right now a top end of around 250. That means if it came in at 250, it would be the third largest opening weekend in cinematic history,
Crazy.
ahead of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, which made 247.9 million, so 248. If it was able to hit the top end of that range at 250, it would become the number 3 all-time opening box office, and within a stone's throw of the second all-time, which right now is Avengers Infinity War at 257 million. Now, there's no way in hell it's going to catch Endgame. Endgame, which is 100 million over the top end of the projections. So there's no way it's catching Endgame. Fine. But look at this. We are talking about it being within reach, maybe, at the top end of its spectrum of being the second biggest opening weekend in history. This tells me a couple of things. One of the things, going back to that Variety article, that, so far 49% of average moviegoers have not yet come back to the theater. That tells me there's a lot of them planning on making Spider-Man No Way Home their first movie back.
I'm telling you. Yep.
There's a lot of people out there that have been like, we're not ready to go back to theaters yet, Spider-Man No Way Home? Doc Ock? All right, we'll go for that. And a lot of them seem to be coming back for that. Again, it just tells us how starved the movie audience has been for that first true, big, huge, mega tentpole blockbuster. Again, all due respect to Shang-Chi, all due respect to Fast 9, all due respect to Black Widow. But this is the first big event blockbuster we've really had in this era. Again, and all due respect to James Bond. This is a key figure in the MCU. This is Spider-Man. This is the one people have really been excited about, especially with all the stuff going on around it. This looks ridiculous. And this blows away the, number one, keep in mind, they're talking about maybe 190 to 250 million. The current record of the pandemic era is 90. We're literally talking close to triple what the existing record is in the pandemic, easily double. Even if Spider-Man No Way Home hits the low end at 190, we're talking about more than double of the existing record, which isn't crazy. And we don't even know if this movie's any good. Like, that's the part that's killing me right now. We look at these numbers, but right now we don't even know if this movie's any good. So if it's great, I mean, it could make the box office explode. If it's not, we'll see it peter out and temper out. But this is pretty interesting stuff. Kim, let me ask you, are you surprised to see these kinds of numbers at Box Office Pro? Because Box Office Pro's old estimates, I thought, were closer to what reality was, 150 to 185, which is insanely good. But now they're saying significantly higher. Do you actually think it gets into that 190 to $250 million range? What do you think?
Closer to 250.
Really?
100%.
So not only
100%.
do you think it gets in the range, you think it's closer to 250.
It's absolutely going to knock Force Awakens off of the third spot.
Well, that
It's
Force Awakens
absolutely,
is 247 million. So you're saying it has to hit 250.
I
to
know
knock
it's
it up.
going to hit 250.
Oh, really? Not
That's what
just
I'm
close
saying.
to it. You think it's
no,
going to
no,
hit
no, no. It's
250?
going to knock them off of the
So
third
you think
spot.
it's going
Absolutely.
beyond box office
I
Pro's
totally
range?
do. I
Really?
totally do. You know why?
Why?
Because more people are vaccinated. One.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
true.
crazy. I mean, my mind was just going to, what if we didn't have a pandemic?
It's insane.
Holy crap, number one. But number two, the fans who I have to commend everyone is people have been so responsible. It's been great to see how people have been taking their health and other people's health into consideration. But now that we're vaccinated and stuff, or a lot of people are so excited. The fan community is more than excited, and not just the fans. I'm hearing a lot of people going, my mom doesn't usually go day one with me, but I'm going to make her. Like we heard last week, everyone that was writing in saying, I got my tickets, they got 2 tickets. They
Yeah,
got tickets
yeah, everybody's
for
buying
opening day,
multiple tickets,
the
yeah.
next day. A lot of people that wrote in last week had third tickets. They're like, I have to see it at least once in IMAX, and then I'll do standard. And da-da-da. I think it's going to be 250 or above because people are so excited, not just for the film, not just for the surprises, but for the experience. I think it's going to blow us away. It's been a hopeful year, and this is just going to cap it off. I think the numbers are going to blow us away.
I'm going to go a little bit different. I don't think it gets near 250.
Oh,
I
I
think
disagree.
I just think with now, granted, I think a lot of people are going to make Spider-Man No Way Home their first movie back.
Yeah.
But with 49% of the average moviegoers still not coming back to the theaters, I don't think half of those people are going to make Spider-Man movie their first movie back. So that you're still talking about a compromised number of active moviegoers right now. And so I don't think it's going to get there. I do think it can get to the low end of that thing. I do think it can hit 290. Like I didn't think that before. I didn't think that before, but that was before all the websites crashed,
Yeah.
right? And all that kind of stuff. So I do think it can get to that 190. I don't think it's going to get within arm's reach of 250. Now, I would love it if it did. I'll be stoked if it does. But there's just, the fact of the matter is there's just too many people not going back to the movies yet that are still, like we just read it last week, that are still nervous about the safety of going into an enclosed room with a bunch of people and strangers. Now, you live in some cities like Los Angeles, you know that everybody in there has to be vaccinated. But then there are some cities like where we live where you don't know if the people in the theaters are vaccinated or not. And that's going to affect, I'm not saying that should or shouldn't affect a lot of people, but that will go into the decision-making process of a lot of moviegoers. And so does that leave enough people to actually go? I don't know. But what is clear is that this movie is making, one, a lot of money. Two, a lot more money opening weekend than I originally thought, because my original projection was 150. And it looks like that original projection of mine is going to get blown out of the water. And then again, that was most of the industry's projection, but still, it looks like that's going to be getting blown out of the water. And we theoretically, I don't think it'll do it, but there is a chance, according to Box Office Pro, that this could top Avengers Infinity War. That it could top Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. That it could top the original Avengers. And it's not going to get anywhere close to Endgame, but still, I mean, this is ridiculous numbers. And again, all that it leaves me is to ponder and think about what could have been possible if you put Toby and Andrew in the trailers. And by the way, I still think there's a third trailer coming, probably 7 days
You're
out.
still holding on.
The turd.
You're still holding
It's
on.
the turd trailer.
The turd trailer. The turd trailer, man.
What?
Turd trailer.
Is it the turd?
The turd trailer is coming.
Happening?
I think it'll come with 1 week to go. I mean, I don't know this. Nobody at Sony has told me that there is. I'm just saying, I still believe there's going to be a third and final trailer. I think there's a reason trailer number 2 wasn't called the final trailer and was just called trailer number 2. But so maybe there's still a chance, but my mind reels at what these numbers could have been if they had Toby and Andrew in the trailer and if there wasn't a pandemic right now. Like I can't, could Endgames? Ray, let me ask you that. Let's say that Toby and Andrew were in the trailer and there was no pandemic right now. Do you think it's possible that this movie could have challenged Avengers Endgame opening weekend box office record? Could that have happened?
If there's no pandemic right now, like it was regular,
Yeah,
everything was
like
normal.
it was like back to 2019 days.
I don't think so. It might come
I mean,
close.
that's 357 million is a huge number.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You
It's
know
just-
what? Go ahead.
Just because of like Endgame, there was so much like, if you followed all the Marvel movies from before that, it was like a big build up to it. I mean, everyone who was watching had to watch that movie to like have an ending to it, or like a finale to whatever they were watching, all the Marvel movies they were watching. I mean, and Spider-Man is just, I think really it's just getting off its its heels right now. Like, I think we're actually going to go into like the rumors of another trilogy coming and stuff like that. I think it's just getting off of its heels in
All right, let me ask you guys. We're going to make, for those of you who are watching live, I've just put up a poll. And I want to ask you guys, if there was no pandemic, okay? If there was no pandemic, let me see if I can get this to actually post. I'm having trouble getting it to post. Why can't I get it to post? 1 second. I can't get the post. I can't get it to go up. Hold on a second. Let me see. Let me try this again. Because I want to ask you guys. Do you think? Oh, okay. It's not letting me put up the poll. Okay.
Boo internet.
Yeah, it's not letting me do it, unfortunately. Having a little bit of a problem there, so I can't get the poll. But guys in the live chat, do you think if Toby and Andrew had been in the trailer, and if there was no pandemic, do you think it could have possibly caught Endgame at 357 million? I don't even know that. I don't think this thing's even get 250 million. Whatever you guys are thinking about this, jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts, because that's a big one. That's a real big one. Hey guys, we want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that is the folks over at Raycon. There it is, into focus there, Raycon. I want to talk about these things for a second. Raycon are these terrific earbuds. I get on my treadmill in my guest bedroom. That's where I have my treadmill, don't mock me. In my guest bedroom every morning, pop these things in. They're great. They're comfortable. They sound great. They have 8 hours of straight playtime batterized, 32 hours of battery life in them. And here's one of the coolest things about them. I've had the other big name ones before. I have owned them. I have had them. And these things cost half the price. Roughly half the price of those things. They're great. And I want to thank Raycon for being a part of this. Now, here's the really exceptional news right now, okay? Here's the thing. If you guys right now, you know that the holiday season is upon us as we speak, coming up faster than you think. So now's the time to knock maybe 1 or 2 of the gift list things on your list. You got to get out of there and pick up a pair of Raycons. Now, for my viewers and listeners right now, you will get 15% off any of the Raycon products right now if you go to buyraycon.com/Campea. That's buyraycon.com/Campea. You'll see a link in the top of the description below of this video. Go down there and click on that link, and you will get 15% off your entire Raycon order. Once again, that's at buyraycon.com. And once again, we thank Raycon for sponsoring this video. All right, let's get back to it. Now, guys, we're going to move into our main topics here today. And how do we select our main topics in the John Campea Show? Well, it's really rather simple. You see, you guys come up with our main topics. Whenever you come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic here on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit. And then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, let's get into main topic number 1. Kim, what is our first main topic today?
All right, guys, this is coming from Ashton M. Hey, John, Kim, and Ray. First, thank you, because you're the ones who turned me on to The Boys when it
Nice.
came out. Second, wondering if you saw that in Brazil, they announced that an 8-episode animated series was coming to Amazon in 2022, as well as the other live-action spinoff they have coming. What do you make of this? Thanks.
All right. Thanks a lot for saying that in. And yeah, listen, one of my favorite shows on TV the last number of years, you guys know, has been The Boys. This is one of those adaptations that are better than the source material. Like you guys heard me and Rob talk about this, that I actually think The Boys the show is better than the boys' graphic novel stuff. I mean, I think it exceeds it. I think it's just that good. I have so much fun with it because it doesn't just fall into the, let's just say a lot of swear words and, how sex. They do that, but they do it with incredible depth of story and great mythology and history and characters. And they just do a great job. They kind of wrap a Shakespearean level kind of experience inside of this ridiculous bonkers kind of world of these hedonistic superheroes that are also big giant jerks all at the same time. And I love it. Now, we've already known that there is a spinoff coming that's going to be set at the University for Superheroes in that world of the boys. That is apparently going to be even dirtier than the boys. And I'm very excited about that one too. But now apparently there's an anthology animated series coming. This comes to us from the folks over at Deadline, who write, at the Brazil Comic-Con, Prime Video announced that The Boys Diabolical, a new 8-episode animated anthology series set in the universe of The Boys. The new series, set to premiere in 2022, will reveal untold stories in the world of The Boys. The stories in it come from certain Hollywood big names, including Awkwafina, Garth Ennis, Elliot Glazer and Ilana Glazer, Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen, Simon Rakapoa, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, Justin Roiland and Ben Baelth, I hope I'm pronouncing that right too, Andy Samberg and Aisha Tyler, who does, is one of the voices in one of my favorite animated shows, Archer. She's in there too. So these people are going to be doing, it's 8 episodes. Each episode will be its own standalone story. And within the world of The Boys, which I think is terrific. I think this is an absolutely terrific idea because within this world, there are so many different other characters and, legends and things like that you can touch on that go around the orbit of the main story of The Boys that you can tell in here. I think doing it as an anthology is a great idea and trying to set up one more story. You get 8 short stories put in there. I think that's great. I saw the little teaser they put up. Not going to lie to you. I don't think the animation style looks great, to be honest with you. It looks kind of very cheap to me. But let's face it, I'm not going to be watching this thing for the animation style. I'm going to be watching this thing for these crazy stories they have to tell in there. And I think this 8-episode anthology is a great idea. So, yeah, mark me down as being down for this. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? The idea that The Boys is going to be doing their own anthology series coming in 2022 animated. I think it sounds great. Whatever you guys think about this, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With that down, let's move into main topic number 2. Kim, what is our second main topic today?
All right. Daniel Head says, hey, John and friends, I've been watching you, John, since the For Your Consideration days.
That's going back.
I hear Tom Holland has been cast as Fred Astaire in a biopic, which is perfect casting to me since he has a huge dance background with starring in Billy Elliot on the West End stage. P.S. John Schnepp lives forever, and my love from where I'm from, UK, Birmingham.
Oh, thanks a lot for saying that in, man. And yeah, of course, look, obviously Spider-Man has been a big topic of conversation lately, and our current Spider-Man is Tom Holland. Tom Holland is a terrific performer. He's not just great as Spider-Man, he's just a really great overall performer. Now, he's appeared in a couple of really not so good movies lately. But even in the movies, this is how you can tell an actor's really got the gift. When they're in a bad movie and yet you can still tell that's a pretty darn good actor. Mm-hmm. And whether you're looking at movies like Cherry, which I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't think was very good. You look at that one he did with Daisy Ridley about, the world where everybody can see. I can't even remember the name of the damn thing.
Chaos Walking.
Chaos Walking. Thank you, Ray. Yep. Always count on Ray to know what I don't want to know. So, Chaos Walking, not a very good movie at all. But again, you could tell this dude knows how to act. And listen, he's one of the reasons why I'm actually quite excited. I know a lot of people are being unfairly pessimistic. Uncharted doesn't have whatever. I think he's going to be really good in Uncharted. I'll tell you straight up. I think he's going to be really good in Uncharted. So I think he's a good performer. And it's challenging to do roles as well in biopics. And now we found out he's taken on a pretty interesting role. He's going to be playing Fred Astaire in an upcoming biopic. This comes to us from the folks over at Variety who write the following. I love seeing Ned in the background there, Jacob Bartolo in the background. Spider-Man star Tom Holland is swapping his web shooters for dancing shoes. The 25-year-old officially confirmed on Sunday that he'll portray legendary actor, dancer, and singer Fred Astaire in an upcoming biopic for Sony. In a recent profile for GQ, Oscar-nominated producer Amy Pascal teased that she wanted Holland for the part of Astaire in the forthcoming movie, and then Tom Holland himself confirmed that he is indeed going to be in this. Now, this is obviously challenging for a couple of reasons. Number one, it is not the easiest thing to just walk in and play a real-life character in a biopic. Like, there's a reason why Jamie Foxx, they gave him an Academy Award for doing such a great job in Charles, right?
Right.
There's a reason why I think I believe Joaquin Phoenix got nominated for Best Actor in Walk the Line.
Yeah.
I believe he got nominated for that. Rami Malek won the Academy Award,
So good.
right, for doing Mercury. It's a tough thing to do, so when you do it well, it really makes you stand out. So that's number one. The other challenging thing is it's Fred Astaire. You talk about you don't even have to be very old to know. You can be a teenager and know. What's the name that comes to mind when you think Hollywood dancing? Fred Astaire. That's even if you've never seen a single Fred Astaire thing, you know the name Fred Astaire. So having him do something like this, I think is very, very interesting to me. But I don't know if you guys knew this. Not everybody does. Tom Holland is a hell of a dancer. You go all the way back to his childhood and some of his earlier roles. Kim, you and I were talking about that before the show. But still not everybody has seen this. If you want to know how good of a dancer that Tom Holland is, there was a lip sync battle. Did you guys see this?
Under my umbrella.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There was a lip sync battle. You guys can go and look it up on YouTube. There was a lip sync battle between Tom Holland and Zendaya. And it was all there was choreography with it too. And for whatever reason, Tom Holland chose the Rihanna song Umbrella. Under my umbrella, Ella, right? He decided to do that one. It's like, okay.
And he looked fabulous.
He was so good. He was so good in that. I just couldn't believe it. Like, I remember about him as a kid, but I didn't know he could still pull off moves like that. He looked absolutely fantastic. So the moment I hear that Tom Holland's going to play Fred Astaire, I'm like, oh, wait, that's bloody brilliant. That totally fits. And I'll tell you what else is really good about this. The other thing that's really, really cool about this is the fact that Tom Holland is picking roles. Like, whether I didn't like Chaos Walking all that much, and I didn't like Cherry all that much, and whatever, fact of the matter is, Tom Holland is making some really great, specific, strategic role choices to make sure he does not get pigeonholed as just, he can only do superhero movies. Oh, he's doing Uncharted. He can only do action kind of roles. He's doing a lot of diverse, different kinds of roles, and him playing Fred Astaire, this might be the movie that would make people take him very seriously, not just as Spider-Man, but as an actor in general. So I think this is a really good choice. Kim, you heard about this. What do you think about him playing this role? How are you feeling about it?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. And he can't just like, oh, he's a good dancer. He can get it. There is this video of him and Zendaya, and they're like at somebody's house, and they're doing this like hip hop dancing or whatever. And I was like, oh, he's like good. He used to like, I think he used to break dance on the street. Like he was one of those kids that had like the cardboard and just like on the street break dancing. And so I'm excited. The only thing I'm a little hesitant about, and I don't think it'll affect his performance, but I find it interesting that Fred Astaire didn't want his story told in a biopic, which is kind of interesting to me, that they're doing it anyway. He's actually been quoted as saying, I do not want someone to misinterpret my life, and I would just rather not have a biopic done about me. I think that's a bit interesting because you really want to honor that person and not just honor their legacy and their essence, but also their wishes. I mean, it makes me think about respect and how Aretha Franklin chose Jennifer Hudson. You know, not only do I want a studio to do it, but I want you to do it. And I just think the energy's a little weird. So hopefully they can overcome that. I think he's going to be fantastic. He looks like him. When you look at that side by side.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, okay, you're not going to have to do a whole lot there, and it's interesting. But yeah, I'm excited.
I'm going to say something maybe a little controversial. I don't think you should have a say about whether or not there's a biopic done about you.
Really?
Look, you are part of the Hollywood story. Look, when you are somebody like Fred Astaire or any of these celebrities, where you got given the wealth and the fame and all that kind of stuff because you are a part of the Hollywood story, the Hollywood story needs to be told. And I personally don't think, look, you don't get to pick and choose. I want the money and the fame and the success and the glory that comes with it, but I don't want then my story to be able to be told.
But it's who's telling your story and what part of your story.
But I don't think you should get to choose that either.
Really?
Yeah, because if you get to just straight up choose who tells your story, then you're running the risk of having a not so accurate story told. You're going to tell the best parts of the story. You're going to tell the story that makes you look good. You're going to do, and no, I don't think that. I don't think people should get to hand. Now, it's different about when you get like Aretha Franklin getting to handpick who gets to play her.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. But I don't know. I feel a little bit weird, like when biopics are being done that, like, say, when it's the people who most directly get to benefit from how they're portrayed in a movie, get to pick who's writing or whatever. I don't know. That feels a little bit weird to me. But I kind of feel like, look, I respect that Fred Astaire didn't really want a biopic done, but you should have thought of that before embracing the Hollywood life and embracing the success and enjoying all the stuff that came along with it, because you're part of the Hollywood story now. You're an iconic part of the Hollywood story.
Yeah, very iconic.
And I kind of feel like that is a part of the story that needs to be done and needs to be told. So I don't know. That's just kind of my take on it. I think there's a lot of different ways of looking at it. At any rate, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this, about Tom Holland playing Fred Astaire? I think this is great, because I think he's going to do fantastic in the role, but I also think it's fantastic for Tom Holland and his career to keep doing roles like this. He keeps showing he's being very, very smart with his career. Anyway, guys, how do you feel about it? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys, with that down, let's move into main topic number 3. Kim, what is our third main topic today?
All right, guys, this comes to us from Irrelevant and Beyond. Well, what a time it is to be a Spider-Man fan, John. A first look at the long-awaited sequel to the beloved Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse dropped over the weekend. It's titled Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and it's a part 1. Wow. The first film might be in my top 10 of all-time films, and I love the character of Miles Morales. What do you think of this first look? Thanks.
You guys know how crazy I am for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. All right. I spent a year before this movie came out talking about how much of a mistake this movie is. This is a mistake. Nobody cares. Nobody wants an animated Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man's Peter Parker. Nobody wants Miles Morales. And oh, look, the first footage came out. That animation style looks stupid. Wah, 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 wah. That was me for like a full year. Like, this is going to be bad. This is a waste of time. I don't like the animation style. Whine, 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 cry, cry, cry. That was me for a full year on this movie. And then like the second or third trailer came out, and I was like, all right, this looks like it could be interesting. You know what it was? It was that one trailer that showed the clip of Miles getting out of his dad's police car, and his dad saying, "I love you, Miles," and the kid just walks away, and he's like, "Siren, you gotta say I love you too," like in front of all his friends.
I loved that.
I love you too. Like, that was the scene in that trailer that made me go,
They're on
all
something.
right, this might be all right. I was not ready. I was not ready for how much I would love this film. Without exaggeration, guys, in 2018, Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse came out, and this is the same year that Infinity War came out, and the same year that Black Panther came out. And there are only 2 movies that I liked more than Into the Spider-Verse that year. And it wasn't Infinity War and it wasn't Black Panther. It was A Quiet Place and it was Black Klansman. Those are the only two movies that I thought were better than Spider-Verse. John, are you saying that you thought Into the Spider-Verse was better than Infinity War and Black Panther? Yes, I'm saying it. I think this is a better movie than either. And I love both of those movies.
Wow.
I think those movies are great. That's how good I think this movie is. The characters are so well done. You get instantly connected to Miles. You feel empathy with the character. You feel like you're going on this adventure. The humor is top notch. The action is great. When they wanted to get silly, they made silly sing. And when you got John Mulaney as Peter Porker,
God,
the amazing
I love
Spider-Ham come in there. You ever throat through the air when you smell a delicious pie? I mean, it's just, it is so well done. And so I have been chomping at the bit for another one. And I was surprised when we got our first look at Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. So they're not doing one more. They're doing at least two more. For all we know there's going to be Part 2, but for all we know, it could be Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, and Part 6. I mean, we don't know, but there's going to be at least two more. And they showed it, and the trailer picks up exactly at the end of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. With the portal opening up, you hear Gwen's voice, "Hey, Spider-Man," or whatever it is she says, and it picks up right there. And again, the trailer starts to play, and you just feel the charm is still there. This comes to us from the folks over at The Verge, who write the following. The first trailer for the highly anticipated sequel to the animated Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse just dropped, revealing both the title Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 and the surprise that the upcoming adventure of Miles Morales will actually be a two-part affair. And actually, it might be more than that. Anyway, the first look trailer picks up right where the last Spider-Verse movie left off, with Miles, Shamik Moore, lying in bed before a portal to Gwen Stacy, Haley Steinfeld. She's killing it with animation lately. And her universe opens. From there, it seems like Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 is going to be trying to one-up the already stellar animation of the original film, with Miles bouncing across multiple animated universes in a variety of art styles that he dukes it out with Spider-Man 2099, who of course appeared in one of the post-credit scenes of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, voiced by Oscar Isaac, who voiced the character in the post-credit scene in the first movie. And again, right when he pops out, when she comes through, they're sitting in his room, the conversation between Gwen and Miles, and then they go outside. It's like all of that heart, all of that chemistry, all of that, dare I say, magic
Total.
was still there. And then they rip into the varying art styles, and now it's not other universes coming to Miles, it's Miles going to other universes. And then, of course, you had the Spider-Man 2099 pop back out that we had from the first film. Listen, I was grinning ear to ear. I was so happy watching this. I cannot wait for this. I thought it was great. Kim, you had a chance to check it out. What do you think about it?
Oh my gosh, I was so excited. The first one was just so groundbreaking, and talk about bringing a comic book to life in the way that they did. I think for the first one, I feel like changed the game for animation. Like from now on, it just up to the level of that you need to like surpass to be great. And I'm just like, first of all, Shamik Moore, his voice just has this like cool, like childlike, joyful cadence, and he just brings to life Miles Morales, like in terms of his age and what a kid like that would do in a situation of adventure. And I'm so excited to see him go across the other universes.
Yeah.
And I love that they open with Sunflower with that song. I'm like, the song is still dope. The song still hits it. And I'm like, I'm so excited because again, when I saw the trailer for the first one, I was like, this looks really cool. This looks really interesting. But when I saw the movie, I just literally, when it was over, me and the boy, I didn't know what to say. I was like, that was so different and so groundbreaking. And I can't wait to hear Oscar Isaac more of his voice as Spider-Man 2099. And I'm really hoping he'll be able to spend some time in Spider-Ham's universe.
Oh, that would be interesting.
I really can't wait to see. But John, I have to tell you,
yes,
this makes me think even more than I thought before that we're going to see Miles in Spider-Man in the next 7 days here.
See, and I had
In
the
like 10
exact
days. I'm
opposite
sorry.
feeling.
You had the opposite feeling.
Yeah, for
This
me, it's
makes me
cemented that
more-
we're not. For you, it's cemented.
It's cemented that we are.
That's
it's
interesting.
cemented that we are because he's going across the multiverse.
Yeah,
And the Spider-Verse. I feel like even more, we're going to see him in some way, shape, or form with Tom Holland. And you feel the opposite?
I feel the absolute complete opposite. See, watching this and them going really into the art styles and stuff like that, this is an animated character. This is an animated character.
I think they're going to keep him animated.
I cannot imagine Kevin Feige saying, let's do the Roger Rabbit thing.
I think they're going to keep him animated.
And Tom Holland standing there talking to Spider-Ham and then looking up and seeing animated. You think they're going to actually
remember,
mix
like I
animated
told you
with
when
live action?
When I
Do you
first...
think they're going to go? You think they're going to go full Roger Rabbit on this?
Not in the way that... remember, I told you, I think that Spider-Man's going to be walking across like some TV in a window or something on display at some like Best Buy thing, and we're going to see across the screen an animated Spider-Man, maybe even banging on the glass, like, get me out of here. What the heck? Where am I? What is this? Why do you look like that? I think it's going to be in a really cool and interesting way.
Well, okay, so you've got two very, very bold predictions. Number one is that we ain't going to see Toby and Andrew in Spider-Man No Way Home, but that we will see animated Miles Morales in it.
100%.
Listen, if both of these things comes out, you're going to be dubbed the all-time Swami of movie prognostication. You will be dubbed like the high heiress prophet of all things Marvel, of all things movie. If this happens.
I feel strongly about my convictions, and I stand on them.
Ray, I'm not going to let you play Switzerland and sit this one out. I need you to weigh in on this.
No, I'm not weighing in on nothing. I weigh enough already. I don't need any extra weight. But I gotta say, Spider-Man 2099 looks awesome.
It does.
That the body that they chose to give him, like the bigger, thicker body, like a Venom like, look really cool. And I don't know, just seeing how Miles. Hopefully, they touch on his college life a little bit too. Because like there's that aspect of Miles Morales too, of his regular life,
right? That
I want to see it, just not the superhero thing, him navigate through, college life. I mean, he was in his dorm. He looked like he was just like spacing out, right?
No, I think that was his bedroom.
He said something. Oh, my dorm.
Well, he went to that private
She said,
school.
this is the room you grew up in. He's like, yeah, but my dorm is much better.
Remember he goes to that other school?
Okay.
Did he look older to you?
He did look older and
he
taller.
Looked taller, right?
Right.
Yeah,
like he had that growth spurt.
So it kind of looked like, okay, so...
I don't know that they picked right up where they left off.
I'm not sure about that either.
But see, no, here's the thing. They picked right up where they left off in the movie.
Yeah.
But that scene may have been a year later or a year and a half later. Right? We didn't know.
Right.
We don't know. So I think you're right. He looked like he was bigger. He looked like he was a little bit more mature.
And her hair was longer too. Did you see how long it was now?
Oh, I
remember
did.
how it was short.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it was a little bit. So there could have been some time jump. Not too long, but a little bit later. Maybe a few months.
You're right. Look at that. You're right. Her hair is.
Yeah, because her hair was short.
I didn't even notice. That's a great catch. So yeah, there must have been a time jump between when the main story of Into the Spider-Verse ended and when that last scene of Miles laying in bed and the portal opens up in front of him seeing Gwen. So there's probably some time passage there. I didn't even think about that. Listen, all I know is this. I am damn excited.
So excited.
I'm more excited for this than I am for Spider-Man No Way Home.
You are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you want to see how they could top the first one, or the continuation of the story, or
I think. I guess it makes sense. I really love John Watts' Spider-Man movie, Homecoming, Far From Home, but out of Homecoming, Far From Home, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, to me, there's no question the best movie out of those three is Into the Spider-Verse. So since I kind of feel like that's the best movie out of those three, then I would be more excited for this one. And don't get me wrong, I'm very excited for Spider-Man No Way Home. We've got our private screening for it coming up 10 days from now. Cannot wait to get to that. We can't wait to invite. And by the way, some of you guys are going to be getting emails soon finding out that you got invited to come and join us for this private screening. But I didn't even know I was until right now when I thought about it. I am more excited for this next Spider-Verse movie than I even am for Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm shocked. Anyway, guys.
Someone in the chat pointed out that he mentioned he was grounded, so I could be wrong.
He can't be that old.
Yeah. Unless he was grounded for the longest time, which I could see happening because of his dad's, a cop.
Yep. So Anyway, yeah, there it is. Question is for you guys. How do you feel about this new Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse trailer? I think it looks great. I'm super stoked for it. How do you guys feel about it? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move into main topic number 4. Kim, what is our 4th main topic today?
Okay, Uzil Almanza says, I've been watching you since I was 15 years old.
Dear
Now
heavens.
I'm 25. Wow. Perhaps the only show that I love more than the John Campea Show is Netflix's Daredevil. I saw an article on Cinema Blend where Kevin Feige confirmed that Charlie Cox is the person who will play Daredevil in the MCU if they ever decide to do something with the character. What are your thoughts? Personally, I think this is great news. And this kind of confirms that cameo on Hawkeye was indeed Vincent D. playing Kingpin, right? Thanks.
All right.
All right.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys know for the longest time, like Kevin Feige, the phrase I like to use is Kevin Feige does not like to play with sloppy seconds. He likes to do his own thing. He ain't going to do Inhumans, at least not the way they were done before. And so for the longest time, I really felt fairly strongly that we're not going to see Charlie Cox as Daredevil or Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. Now, then, you guys will remember, maybe about 2 months ago, I started to soften on that. And I was like, well, you know what they could do? They could have Charlie Cox, although even to me, this would be a bit of a stretch. They could have Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, whatever, in them playing those characters, but they're not the same characters as they were in the Netflix series. As a matter of fact, last night, before this news broke, I recorded a companion video. For those of you who don't know, there's a companion video up from yesterday. Before this news broke, where somebody was asking about Vincent D'Onofrio, and I said, you know, I do kind of feel now, like I have for a little while, that they could be in it. They could use those actors for the roles, but they're not. It's not the Kingpin that was in the Daredevil series. It's a new version of Kingpin. It's not the same history. That Charlie Cox could play Matt Murdock, but it's not the exact same Matt Murdock as was in the Daredevil series. Because I don't think Kevin Feige wants to officially canonize that stuff, right? So anyway, with all that in mind, somebody finally just straight up asked Kevin Feige, about Daredevil. I believe it was an interview. I think it was an interview with IGN. I could be mistaken about that. But they asked him straight up about Charlie Cox. And for the first time ever, Kevin Feige has acknowledged that Charlie Cox, if they ever use Daredevil, will be played by Charlie Cox. This is what Kevin Feige said. If you were to see Daredevil in upcoming things, Charlie Cox, yes, would be the actor playing Daredevil. Where we see that, how we see that, when we see that, remains to be seen. Where we see that, how we see that, when we see that, remains to be seen. Now, look, I just want to point out something here. That there are a bunch of people, I even saw in our own chat this morning, before the show started, a lot of people saying, Kevin Feige has confirmed that Charlie Cox is going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home playing Daredevil. No, he didn't. He did not. To be specific, this is exactly, again, let's go back and look at it again. This is specifically what Kevin Feige said. He says, if you are to see Daredevil in upcoming things, Charlie Cox, yes, would be the actor to play Daredevil. Where we see that, how we see that, when we see that, remains to be seen. So let's be very, very clear here for a minute before we get into the excited stuff. For accuracy's sake, Kevin Feige did not just say that Charlie Cox is in Spider-Man No Way Home. He also did not officially say that Daredevil is coming into the MCU. He didn't say that. He said, if we ever see Daredevil, then yeah, it'll be Charlie Cox playing him. Okay? Again, just to be accurate, just to be specific, all Kevin Feige said is if we ever have Daredevil, and we're not saying we are, but if we ever do, Charlie Cox will be playing him. Okay? That is what Kevin Feige said. Why on earth, though, would Kevin Feige specifically point out a specific casting for a role if he had no plans to use that? Like, yeah, I don't know if we're ever going to have Bishop. And that Bishop, for those of you who don't know, is one of my favorite X-Men characters. But I don't know if we're ever going to have Bishop. I don't know. I don't know. But you know, if we do, it's going to be Chiwetel Ejiofor playing him. What? Why would Kevin Feige already have a very specific person and name in mind and call out who the casting is if he did not already at least have plans for doing something with that? Whether it's in She-Hulk, or whether it's in Spider-Man No Way Home, or whether it's in Moon Knight, or whether it's in anything, right? Why on earth would Kevin Feige say, oh yeah, we've cast the guy who's going to play this role? Oh, well, we don't know if we're ever actually going to have this character. Obviously he is. Obviously he is. And obviously for a very, very long time, there were a lot of reports going around that Charlie Cox was going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home. And that's been, you know, reported by a bunch of different outlets for a very, very long time. Now Kevin Feige's coming saying, yep, Charlie Cox is going to be our Daredevil. So this raises some very big and interesting questions. The first one, let's start with what he was saying in that. Does this confirm that the uncle in Hawkeye is indeed Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin? No, it doesn't confirm it, but holy shit, it implies it.
Sure does.
I mean, it implies it. And you know, there was a new TV spot for Hawkeye, for the upcoming episode of Hawkeye, in which it said, we haven't even revealed our biggest surprises, or something along that lines. Big surprises, Ray.
Big surprises.
The surprises are huge coming to Hawkeye, right? So I don't, look, we're all speculating right now. Let's be really clear here. We're speculating. But the speculation right now is, it ain't no coincidence that before tomorrow night, for us in Los Angeles is tomorrow night, for many of you guys it'll be the next day's morning, but at midnight tomorrow night, Los Angeles time, that a new episode drops. I don't think it's coincidence that Kevin Feige has come out now and said, oh yeah, Charlie Cox is going to be our Daredevil. I'm thinking we're going to see Kingpin. Like, again, I have nothing official on this. This is just me, wild speculation as a fan. I think we're going to see Kingpin tomorrow night. And I think that's why Kevin Feige, again, I don't know that. I'm not putting money on that. Okay. I'm not putting ketchup on
I'm already thinking about a bet.
Yeah.
Wheels were spinning.
I am putting nothing on this. I am just saying that if I as an individual fan sitting here in my garage, my converted garage, I think we're going to see Vincent D'Onofrio tomorrow. Now again, listen, it's still very possible. I still believe it's possible that the uncle in this is not Kingpin and is not Vincent D'Onofrio, and it could be Kate Bishop's dad, who we never saw die in the show. So, I mean, I still think that's a possibility. It is. But if you'd ask me which I am leaning, I'm leaning towards, I think it's Kingpin being played by Vincent D'Onofrio. I think we're going to see that there. So that's the first thing this answers. The second thing it answers is, okay, clearly he's bringing him in as Daredevil. The most single important question is it the exact same Daredevil, an iteration of Daredevil that was in the Netflix series? I don't think it will be. But again, we haven't heard anything official on that. Like, I think we could have him playing a new version of Matt Murdock, and Iron Fist shows up at some point, but it's not the same guy. It's not the same Iron Fist that we saw in that terrible Netflix Iron Fist series. That we could have Luke Cage, but it's not Mike. I forget the name of the actor.
I forgot it too.
Ray forgets it too. Can you look it up for me, Ray?
Yeah.
It was Mike something who played, I really like him too, by the way, but who played it could be a totally different guy coming in to play Luke Cage.
Coulter.
Mike Coulter, thank you.
Thanks, chat.
By the way, Mike Coulter is one of those guys who it is just stupid unfair in the universe that one human being has that much good looks wrapped up in him when the rest of us are begging for scraps. That is a handsome man. Mike Coulter
Super handsome.
is a ridiculously handsome man.
And that voice, my gosh.
Yes.
He was in Halo 5 too.
Is he a voice
He was
in
like,
Halo
no,
5?
he was the main
was that
character.
him?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
With Nathan Fillion.
I had no idea that was him. So anyway, the number one question would be, Is it the same Daredevil from the Netflix universe? I don't think it will be. Just guessing, they might end up being, but I don't think it will be. I think it'll be a new backstory, a new thing altogether. Same goes with Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. Then the second most important question becomes, when does he show up?
Yeah.
I mean, look, there have been reports for over a year, reports that I didn't believe for a long time, but there were reports for over a year that Charlie Cox is on set of Spider-Man No Way Home and all this kind of stuff before we even knew the title of the movie, of the new Spider-Man movie and blah, blah, blah. Again, I still don't know for sure. Even with the picture that I received, I'm still not 100% convinced that picture was real. But just with the fact of what Kevin Feige has said, combined with the reports that have been out for well over a year, I mean, if I had to bet $1 on this, I would put that dollar on him showing up in Spider-Man No Way Home, which would absolutely constitute a ridiculously massive proportion surprise, like for a lot of people. So I'm going to go there. So question one, is it the same Daredevil from the Netflix series? I don't think so, but it could be. We'll see. Number two, where does he show up? I don't think they're waiting for She-Hulk, even though I think a lot of people have thought for a long time that he would probably show up in She-Hulk, but I think it's going to be Spider-Man No Way Home. Don't know for sure. I don't know that, but that's where I'm guessing. Kim, what do you think of what do you think about Feige's comments, and what do you think Feige's comments mean ultimately? What's your take on it?
I think one, it definitely tells us how much he appreciates the fans and how much they love Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock. And I think if anything we know about Kevin Feige is that he really cares about the fans. He really cares about the Marvel fans and what we want to see, and that he is faithful to deliver. Secondly, I think you're right. I'm on your wavelength that it'll be a different story with him. But also I think, we talked about this a little with J. Jonah Jameson and how if you think of it, sorry, that character, J.K. Simmons. I'm getting the name.
J. Jonah.
There's so much happening.
Yes.
J.K. Simmons, and the Batgirl situation, and how they're going to have like kind of the same characters, but in different universes. And I just feel like it can get a little confusing if you just start having new stories that aren't that far off from the original. Like Daredevil, it went off of Netflix, 2 years ago?
Was it that long ago?
You
might be,
ago,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it feels like yesterday.
It's like kind of too soon to just recast and make people fall in love with him all over again. So I think it's a good idea to keep him. I look forward to seeing him again. I think he'll show up in Spider-Man No Way Home, but I think if he doesn't show up, he'll definitely be in She-Hulk, my thinking.
Yeah, and then there are a lot of people, because of stories that we've had before, a lot of people, I'm noticing in the live chat, think he's going to show up in the Echo series as well. Don't forget, Echo's got her own series coming as a spinoff from Hawkeye, so that's there too. I got to ask, I am dying to know what Ray thinks about this. Ray, Charlie Cox's Daredevil popping up. Does this excite you? Do you not really care? What are you thinking about it?
Man, when I say this is going to be my last show. I never finished the Daredevil series on Netflix.
Damn it, Ray.
You didn't finish Breaking Bad either.
No. I mean, it's just, maybe it's because I didn't have a subscription. I don't know. But you know what? I don't think the movie needs him. If there's a purpose for him, then fine. But,
That is the ultimate bottom line. If there's what I've said for a while now is my one concern about Spider-Man No Way Home is that it just becomes a giant cameo circle jerk where it's just like, oh, now this person's here, wee, and now this person's here, wee, and there's this person here, wee. And they put more stuff to just empty calorie fan service pop-up cameos and forget about the nutrition of real story and narrative. Does this person popping up serve a narrative function that enhances the story of the movie? And because if you just start throwing in people for the sake of throwing them in, that might get you a brief pop. But long term, when you watch the movie again, it's like, yeah, that was kind of pointless. It actually detracted from the movie. It didn't help the movie. My one worry, and I'm not saying I believe they can't handle it. I think John Watts is going to do a great job. I think Kevin Feige is going to make sure it all goes well. But if you were to ask me, if you were to have a concern, John, about Spider-Man No Way Home, what would your concern be? Honestly, my concern is that they get too enamored with the idea of, What would create the biggest pop in the audience for the moment, but at the sacrifice of making a good movie? That's what I worry about. Like that's why, like, look, when you look at Spider-Man No Way, or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, why I say it's a better movie than Infinity War is because it's a better movie than Infinity War. Yeah, it didn't have all the big stars and all the big heroes and all the big fan service pops and, you know, Thor showing up on the battlefield in Wakanda in a bolt of lightning, which is honestly one of the greatest scenes. I love that scene. But it does everything that a good movie does a little bit better, in my opinion. It has better character. It has better heart. It just, and I love Infinity War. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Don't get me, I'm not trashing on Infinity War. I love that movie. But that's what I hope they are to keep the focus on. With all the talk of Charlie Cox and Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and Goblin and Doc Ock and Sandman and Electro and whoever
it's like
else.
a parade of surprises.
And the parade of big surprises. Like,
surprises.
Going all over the place. I just hope that they don't lose their focus.
Yeah.
Primarily being everything that we put in this movie has to serve the movie.
I want it to have substance.
Substance.
I really want it to have substance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nutrition over empty calories.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I worry about a little bit. But I mean, with these,
it's hard to do that when it comes to, like, if let's say it's all saved for the, like, ending of the movie.
Right.
It's hard to make it everyone has, like, that purpose or serve their purpose. I don't know. So hopefully they do it right. I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But again, Kevin Feige has just said, if we ever use Daredevil, I don't know if we'll ever use him. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. If it ever is, though, it's going to be Charlie Cox. I've already cast him, even though I don't know if he's going to be in the movies or not. It's a ridiculous statement. But anyway, guys, what do you think about that? How do you think they're going to use him? If they use him, do you think it's going to be the exact same Daredevil, the exact same Matt Murdock from the Daredevil series, and this is just carrying on that guy's story? Or do you think, like me, that it'll be a new iteration of the character just being played by the same actor to make the fans happy? Do you think he's going to first pop up in No Way Home? Do you think he's going to pop up in Echo? Do you think he's going to pop up in She-Hulk? Whatever you guys are feeling about this, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys, with all that down and out of the way, let's now move over and start taking your live comments. Of course, here on the John Campea Show, as we're doing the show live, if you're watching live, and only if you're watching live, you can jump into the super chat feature of YouTube here and fire in a super tip or super chat, if you will, to send in, and we read these comments at the end of the main topics. You guys, we've closed it down now because just too many came in. So you can't add one now because we've shut it down. But let's now go over and see what all the people were writing in and talking about. So Kim, what do we got going on in there?
All right, Sean Patinaud sends in a 1999 super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sean.
Update from last week on my disability. I'm out for at least another month or so until January 10th. If things aren't better by then it's surgery, shoulder or neck. Oh,
yikes.
You guys are the only thing I look forward to each day recently.
Oh, dude,
Get better.
Get better soon, man.
You can do this.
The important thing, more important than soon, is just get better. Take all the time you need. Don't rush it. As somebody who's had some physical injuries before and who has tried to rush, particularly once I had this really bad back issue, I pushed it too hard too soon, and it ended up laying me up for an extra month longer than it needed to.
Oh, man.
So take your time with it, be patient with it, and dude, thank you for the honor of having us in there as you're going through your recovery. Thanks for letting us be a part of your day. And we hope we bring a little bit of smiles to your day as you're going through it. So recover, dude. More important than the speed of the recovery, but get there as soon as you can, man. All right, what's next?
All right, Casey Mack says, the fact that Into the Spider-Verse sequel is getting a 2-part story is surprising. I hope part 2 isn't that far apart from the first movie.
I desperately hope, if they're already planning 2 parts, that they're making these films at the same time. And that,
I think they are. I think they said they are.
I think they are, and that they do what Matrix 2 and 3 did, which they released them like 6 months apart. Remember Matrix 2 and 3?
I believe they're a year apart.
I think it was
Part
6
1
months apart.
No, the upcoming Spider-Verse movies.
Did they officially say, though, that Into the Spider-Verse, or
Across
the Spider-Verse, part 1, but that part 2 will be in 2023? I didn't read anything about that officially.
I believe they did.
Okay, I didn't see that in any of the reports, but hopefully you're right. I hope that's what they're doing. All right, what's next?
Al Renshaw says, you have said Feige doesn't like to play with someone's sloppy seconds.
No sloppy seconds for Kevin.
Maybe he changed his mind. Kingpin and now Daredevil. Hopefully Punisher's next.
I mean, listen, first of all, John Bernthal has denied that, but Andrew Garfield's been denying he's in Spider-Man No Way Home. Look, if I think it keeps Kevin true to that, if he does bring in D'Onofrio and Cox, but isn't using the same iterations as from the Daredevil show, then I think he's still good. But you're right. Listen, we've said all along, even like ages ago when I said Kevin Feige doesn't like to play sloppy seconds, he's talked about that on stage. But he is a human being. Human beings change their minds. So I don't think it's him changing his mind if they're not the exact same versions of those characters from the Daredevil series. But if they are, then he's changed his mind and he is human. All right, what's next?
All right. Sean Patinod says, again, thank you so much for giving me something to look forward to each day. I watch every day now. You guys are the only good things I have right now.
Oh, dude, thank you so much for that. That's so kind of you to say. We love that we get to be a part of your day, and I hope we continue to be informative and entertaining for you, dude. Thanks so much for that. All right, what's next?
A. Marcellus says, I'm going to take an educated guess and say that Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are playing new versions of the characters with the Netflix backstory being scrapped, like J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson.
I listen, you and I might be wrong about this, Marcellus, but I am in complete agreement with you. I think this will be a new version. I've even heard some people whisper, and they may not know anything that they're talking about, but that like even this Matt Murdock may not yet be Daredevil, which isn't consistent with the comic story. At any rate. But yeah, I am in agreement with you that it's not going to be the same iteration, but we could be wrong. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities there. We'll find out. But yeah, you and I, Marcellus, are on the same wavelength right now. All right, what's next?
All right, Raymond Verada says, this Daredevil news is another attempt at all the tickets. Fanboys will get excited and start speculating if Charlie Cox is in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Listen, I was telling you earlier that it's not a coincidence that Kevin Feige is making that statement right now. Now, I personally think it's to set up or to get ahead of what we're about to see in Hawkeye tomorrow night. So, Ray, you need to be here and you need to barbecue more of those delicious burgers for me tomorrow. Ray came over early, like 2 hours before Hawkeye last week, and he barbecued like burgers like 10 p.m. at night, and like, oh, it was good.
Which is the best time to eat dinner, folks, like really late at night. It's really good for you.
Make the healthy choice. Eat at 10:30 at night. Eat barbecued hamburgers at 10:30
and then go right
night.
to bed.
But yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence because of that, but you're right. This is also Kevin Feige putting on his marketing hat a little bit and saying, oh yeah, you all guys talking about Spider-Man No Way Home? Yeah. Oh yeah, Charlie Cox is going to be our Daredevil. Come on. If Spider-Man No Way Home was not coming out in 10 days, he would not be talking about that right now.
Fuel on the fire.
Yeah, he's just pouring gasoline on the fire. This is all the tickets. And it makes me even more believe another trailer is coming a week before the movie drops. So maybe in like 3 or 4 days, we're going to get a new trailer.
Do you think it could kind of split the difference between the effect of having Toby and Andrew if they just have Charlie Cox in the trailer?
Ooh, the stumper.
Not Toby and Andrew, just
not
Charlie.
Toby and Andrew, but just
Charlie.
I think it would have a similar effect. I mean, that show had a lot of fans.
Okay.
That show had a lot of fans. All right, what's next?
William Ernst says, I work at a movie theater. If Spider-Man makes that much opening weekend, it will be a disaster. Every chain is having problems hiring staff.
You know what? I have noticed that.
I've noticed that in mine.
Hey, Adam Aaron, how'd it work out for you laying off 30,000 people while giving yourself a $9 million bonus, you asshole? Anyway,
boom! Jeez. Shout out.
Am I being
Yeah,
vague? Am I being vague on my
Shout out to Adam Aaron.
of my feelings towards Adam Aaron, CEO of AMC. Anyway, but no, I have noticed in a lot of the movie theaters I've gone into, they're struggling to staff right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna be a tall order. It's gonna be a tall order for these heroes, these people who make the movie magic available to us. Yeah. As a movie fan, to me, the men, women, boys, and girls
Yeah.
who work in movie theaters that facilitate those magical experiences we have going to the movies, they are my movie-going heroes.
Yeah.
They make it from the person who scans my barcode when I walk in, to the person who serves me my popcorn, the person who swept up the floor in front of my seat before I got there, the person who's making sure the lights go down at the right time and the movie looks right, to the people who greet me as I'm leaving and saying thanks for coming to AMC, because AMC is where I normally go to. Those are my movie-going heroes, the people who make those experiences possible for me. And let's all, number one, be very patient with these
Please
people
be kind to them.
this
Yes.
Spider-Man weekend, because it looks like they're going to get hit with a crowd that they haven't seen in years.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
And Godspeed to you, my movie-going heroes, for making this event possible for us. So all the best. And guys, clean up after your damn selves. When your screening is done and you're leaving the theater, just pick up your garbage and bring it with you to the garbage can. Just make their very difficult
be
jobs
patient
that
with them
weekend.
and be kind, because I've
Yes.
noticed that at mine, and I last time I went to see House of Gucci, I remember some people were being a little rude, and I'm thinking, you know what, they're not in charge of staffing. They can't control if someone called out sick. They can't control that
Yep.
their boss needs to hire 5 more people. They can't control the fact that the pandemic numbers have not supported them having a bigger staff. So these people are amazing.
Yep.
Please be kind to them.
Thank you.
Unless the movie sucks.
Then it's your fault.
Oh my God.
Yeah, then screw those guys.
Oh
Screw
my
those guys.
God. I can always count on you, Ray. I can always count on you.
I hold every single one of you ushers responsible if that movie isn't good.
Holy crap.
I'm gonna throw popcorn in your face. Boo! Anyway, okay, what's next?
Joshua Mickle says the score for Spider-Man No Way Home leaked. The track 19 and track 13 music was unbelievable. Won't say title, spoilers, but had me crying.
Yeah, that's the story that's going around I chose not to talk about it today, but I mean, it is a story that's going around. Look, I'm not gonna say what it is, but I mean, it reminds me of when Star Wars: The Phantom Menace was coming out. Do you remember this, Ray?
Yeah, I remember
When
this
Star
story.
Wars: The Phantom Menace was coming out. The soundtrack got released, and one of the songs.
Wait, not leaked, right? Just released.
Yeah,
like,
released.
Like on purpose.
Yeah. One of the songs on the soundtrack before the movie came out.
It was called This Is the Part Where the Person Dies.
Yeah, it was. It was called. This is literally the name of it. Of course, Liam Neeson played Qui-Gon Jinn. The name of the song was literally called Qui-Gon's Noble End. That was literally the name of the track before the damn thing came out. Qui-Gon's Noble End on the soundtrack that was released before the movie even came out. I mean, it's just one of those situations. All right.
Oh my gosh.
What's next?
Oh, Carlos Cazeta says, insert Michael Scott gif. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's happening. Everyone's
happening.
stay calm. I really think it will end at Charlie Cox and Vincent D returning.
Again, I don't think we're going to see D'Onofrio in Spider-Man No Way Home.
I don't think so.
But I'm thinking, guys, I am thinking we are. What time is it right now? I'm thinking
11:28.
we are 36 hours away. Damn, we should have a pregame show for Hawkeye tomorrow. I haven't done any pregame shows for Hawkeye yet, but anyway, I think we are 36 hours and change away from Vincent D'Onofrio entering the MCU. Again, I'm not willing to put money on that. I don't feel super strong about that, but I'm leaning towards we are 36 hours away from seeing him in it. So I don't know. We'll see. All right, what's next?
Carlos Quezada says, I don't see any others making a comeback from the Netflix shows, although seeing Bernthal back would be glorious.
Bernthal is the only other one I could see. I could see them bringing him, but again, with there was a bunch of unfortunate, nonsensical controversy around the Punisher character and should the Punisher character even be around because of the way the Punisher character emblem was being used by some people not even related to it. I could see Disney staying away from the Punisher character for a while. And I think that sucks, but I also kind of get it. But I don't see them bringing that Iron Fist back. I don't see them bringing even though I really like the actress, I don't see them bringing the Jessica Jones character back in. Not to mention, don't forget, Blade is Cottonmouth, which is another reason why I don't see them using It's another reason why I don't. Sorry, I literally have an industry insider texting me stuff right now. Oh,
Uh-oh.
Oh, don't.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
we will. Let me look into this and we'll talk about it another time. Let me look into that first, then maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. But oh yeah, if it was the same universe as the Netflix universe,
Ray, grab his phone.
then Cottonmouth is already like and this is different from what's the name of the girl who plays Cersei again? Gemma Chan, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is different from Gemma Chan already being in Captain Marvel because she was in total alien makeup.
Yeah.
It didn't even look like her remotely, right? So yeah, we'll have to see. All right, what's next?
Fry Mini says, "Long live Borrowwind. D10 sounds interesting."
Okay, so I was talking on my companion video yesterday. Somebody's asking me about D&D. You guys know me and Ann play D&D, but it's actually not my favorite role-playing game to play right now because ever since the 5th edition, like, it is a complex game to play. And like, I feel like half the time that you're playing D&D, the half of your time sitting at the table is spent flipping pages in the rule books, looking up the mechanics and the rules for a given situation. Whereas, a game like Star Wars, the role-playing game, the West End Games version D6, it's very simple. The DC Heroes D10 system, which I'm putting a game together for right now, it's a very simple. So you spend your time playing the game instead of spending your time reading the rule books. So yeah, anyway, my character's name in my current Dungeons and Dragons campaign is not Borrowwind, it's Borrowin. Like Arrowin, right? It's just Borrowin. That's the name of my ranger character right now. Nobody cares. All right, what's next?
The Super Review Show sends in a $25 super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Super Review Show. Appreciate that.
Hey, all. If you had to guess, how big of a role will Daredevil play in Spider-Man No Way Home, assuming he's in the movie? Longtime fan of yours, John and crew. Thanks.
Okay, based off of what we just heard from Kevin Feige, I'm going to say this. If Charlie is in the movie, I think he's Matt Murdock. I don't think he's Daredevil. Again, I don't know. But I think if he is in the movie, I think it's Matt Murdock, not Daredevil.
I agree.
So, again, I think after Kevin Feige saying what he just said, kind of shores up your assumption that he's probably in the movie. So if you're thinking he is, that probably just bolstered you a little bit. But I don't think we're going to see Daredevil. I think we're going to see Matt Murdock. Again, I don't know. We very well could, though, so we'll have to wait and see. Thanks for sending that in, Super Review Show. All right, what's next?
Joshua Mickle says, today's Daredevil news just made No Way Home even more anticipating. Even though it will only be Matt Murdock in the film, Cox's back is huge.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. I was just saying
so
that.
Funny.
Joshua. I was just saying that. I mean, yeah, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I don't know for sure. But yeah, him being back in the MCU, even though Kevin Feige did not officially say Daredevil is going to be in the MCU, why would you cast a guy for it if he wasn't going to be in it? It is absolutely huge news. Absolutely monstrous news. All right, what's next?
Casey Mack says, John, the latest Hawkeye trailer had the phrase, "the big surprises was still to come." Big surprises.
I am convinced.
Did it really?
Right?
Yep, I
Did it
am
really?
convinced. It did.
Big
I was talking about the
surprises.
I mean, let's face. Look, the Disney marketing machine watches the John Campea Show. Clearly, they do. They're waiting to guys, because even the way the narrator would say it, this says we have the biggest surprises coming. There are the biggest surprises. He said it just like Ray.
Yes.
He didn't really.
I mean, but where's my check?
Yeah, that Ray's check.
Where's my Disney Plus
Ray,
check?
get that
At least give me a free subscription. Come on.
Ray's Disney Plus check is now in the mail. Yeah, I mean, so that's why I kind of think it's not a coincidence that Feige is dropping what he's dropping now,
That's
and
really
then
funny.
tomorrow. That's why I'm thinking maybe we see D'Onofrio tomorrow, but probably I don't know. We'll who knows? We'll find out in 36 hours. All right, what's next?
Derek Large says, really interested to see who Nick Offerman will be playing in the Last of Us show.
I didn't even know Nick Offerman was in Last of
I
Us.
didn't know that. I
You
love
didn't?
him.
John, you didn't? That was the worst impression.
I mean,
Son?
he is. For those of you who don't know who Nick Offerman is, he is like one of my favorite television characters of all time. He is Ron Swanson
Wow.
from Parks and Rec. He is Duke. Oh, what's his name in it?
And Duke Silver.
Duke Silver.
Come get all up into my jazz.
I'll get warm all up in my jazz. I mean, it's like the greatest character ever. So I didn't even know he's in that. That's very exciting to hear, Derek. Thanks for sharing. All right, what's next?
Dinosaurs Limbo says, just watched The Lighthouse for the first time.
Wow.
So I'm going to preemptively apologize for yelling, "You're fond of me, lobster," all day. It's involuntary.
Did you see The Lighthouse?
I did not.
Is that Robert Pattinson?
I did
That is
not.
Robert Pattinson, Willem Dafoe.
I didn't.
It's a weird movie.
I missed it. Yeah.
I remember I walked out both enamored with the movie and saying, what the hell did I just watch?
I heard something about mermaids that I didn't want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, look, the whole movie is, one, mesmerizing. Like, having Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe acting off each other, and it's just the two of them in this movie, is mesmerizing as you're watching it. But at the same time, I swear, I walked out. It was the AMC Burbank 16 I saw it in. I walked out, stood out on the concrete in front of the front doors, and literally said out loud to myself, what the hell did I just watch? Like, it's really a strange one. All right, what's next?
10 out of 10.
My Comic Planet says, with this news, I'm reminded of just how great all seasons of Daredevil Netflix shows are. They really set a high bar for what Marvel shows can be. Here's hoping they get back to that level of quality.
Yeah, I mean, look, honestly, the Netflix series for me were a mixed bag. I know everybody now likes to wax poetic about how great the Netflix series were, but the reality was it was hit and miss. Daredevil was great. Punisher, I thought, was great. Iron Fist, Luke Cage. Listen, I liked the first half of the first season, like everything that had Cottonmouth in it. And I like Mike Coulter as the character very, very much. But the second half of season 1 of Luke Cage went downhill. I was not a fan of season 2. So, and then the Defenders, I liked the Defenders. I liked it, but it wasn't great. So the reality is, while we like to wax poetic about how great that whole Netflix Marvel universe was, the reality was it was pretty hit and miss. So, but Daredevil was constant hit. Daredevil was always singing at the top of its game. So that was great. All right, what's next?
Digovi sends in a 1999 super chat. Thank you.
Digovi.
Cinema Blend released the video where Feige and Pascal confirm Cox as Daredevil. Pascal's reaction to the when part of Feige's statement is a dead giveaway, in my opinion. Looks like that photo you shared might be legit.
Again, I don't look with Pascal. Never think you know what's going through her head. I mean, I just think that's what we learned really from the Sony release when Sony made the statements to the Hollywood Reporter about, we have no plans right now. And what I got told was, I have no idea what she's talking about. And then you look back at the old Kevin Feige, Amy Pascal interviews. I don't know. Look, all I'm saying is I wouldn't read too much into what Pascal says or does in the interviews. She's a brilliant film executive. She's not so good with the interviews, so I don't know. It could mean something, might not. We'll have to see. All right, what's next?
Kendall Barker says something that is up for debate. No, just kidding. John Campea is legendary.
Yeah, but what kind of legendary? The good legendary or the bad legendary? All right, what's next?
Dalton Gray says, that Matrix trailer was fire. You the man, John.
Hey, listen, I'm not looking forward to this Matrix film, but even I got to say, man, these trailers have been on point. These have been terrific trailers. All right, what's next?
Al Renshaw says, Tatiana said she will be full mocap. Is that the person John saw that we would never guess?
If
we all need to know.
If I said you'd never guess and you're guessing, then you didn't guess. So no. All right, what's next?
Cam K says, I could just be really dumb here, but how are Echo and Daredevil supposed to communicate? Echo uses Siri and Daredevil knows sign language. Oh my gosh.
I've never thought about that. So you got one that can't hear. One, it reminds me of that Richard Pryor, and who played Willy Wonka again? Gene Wildman?
Wildman.
Yeah, Gene Wildman. It reminds me of that Richard Pryor, Gene Wildman movie called See No Evil, Hear No Evil a little bit. It's like Echo and Daredevil. That's a very good question, Cam. It's a very good question. All right, what's next?
Rory Barraclaw sends in a super chat. Thank
you, Rory.
Sidious Swift says, with their track record, I'm sure he's going to play a Daredevil like Evel Knievel, not the actual Daredevil, a heroic stuntman.
What? Nah, I don't think so. I think he's playing the Daredevil, just not the Daredevil from the series. But I don't know. Look, if it turns out to be that, Sidious will remember you said that for sure. All right, what's next?
Kyle Beckworth sends in a $20 super chat. Thank
you, Kyle.
You never know who you'll bump into at Comic-Con. It was awesome to meet you, John, Ann, and Ray yesterday at LA Comic-Con. Thanks for making my day. Your photo op turned out great.
Oh, thank you, that Kyle. And by the way, and thank you, Kyle, very much. I should point out, it was amazing how many people, especially when Ann and I would be waiting, because a lot of our time at Comic-Con was waiting in lines. And as we were waiting in lines, so many people like came up and took pictures and talked to us and the viewers of the show. One of the really cool ones was we walked into this big giant room, right, where there's all these lines. And I went up to the info booth and we asked this lady, he said, which line is it for Benedict Wong or whatever? And they told us that, and we're like, okay. Then we went, got in line, sat down and waited. And then the lady came running over to me and I thought, oh, did she give us the wrong line or something? She goes, by the way, I just had to check. Are you John Campea? I'm like, yeah, because I had my mask on, right? I'm like, yeah. She goes, I thought I recognized your voice. My husband is always listening to you. Can I take a picture just so I can send it to my husband? I'm like, sure. And we've got this. So listen, seriously,
sweet.
Big thank you to everybody who came over to say hi at the convention yesterday. It was a great, awesome honor that you guys would take time out to come over and say hi. So thank you for that, Kyle. Very, very much, man. I appreciate that. All right, what's next?
Benjamin Mason says, doubt there's going to be a final trailer for No Way Home at this point.
I think within a week.
You want to bet on it?
A week. Maybe.
Before release?
Not what's that?
There'll be a third trailer, but it'll be after the release of the movie.
I think it'll be before the release.
Oh, okay.
And it'll have Andrew and Toby and Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, and it'll have Neo from The Matrix.
Record this.
And it'll have Henry Cavill as Superman, and it'll be everybody.
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 All my money.
All the money. All right, what's next?
Suthia says, Feige in Oprah's voice, pointing to the Netflix Marvel characters. You get a second chance, and you get a second chance, and you get a second chance. Everyone's getting a second chance.
Yeah, I don't think Iron Fist is getting a second chance. I don't think Iron Fist is getting a second chance, but we'll find out. Well said, Suthius. All right, what's next?
Patrick Foley says, how likely do you think the Omicron variant will disrupt the box office now that a rebound is currently happening for theater attendance?
I'm not a doctor, nor am I an infectious. Unlike half the people on Google who think they're infectious diseases experts because they, while sitting on their toilet, they watched a YouTube video. I am not an infectious diseases expert, and so I don't know. Right now, I know the numbers in California continue to decline, which is good for now. So I really don't know. I have to wait and see, but that's something that's way above my pay grade. I have no idea at this point. All right, what's next?
Bobby Jackson says, I know you never thought Feige would want to play with others' toys, but I'm happy that we're getting Charlie Cox back as Daredevil.
Yeah, and again, I think this makes sense. If it's not the same Daredevil, like I will be surprised at this point if it's the exact same Daredevil as in the Netflix universe. I think it's not going to be, so it's a really good compromise. But again, we'll have to find out. We will know soon enough. We will know soon enough. So we're not going to have to speculate about this for long. We're going to get our actual real answers. All right, what's next?
Austin Alberto says, hey, John, D'Onofrio is 62 years old. Do you think he's too old if he will be in Hawkeye and possibly more MCU projects down the line?
He looks great.
Looking
D'Onofrio looks great. And remember, the cool thing about him as Kingpin is that he doesn't have to fight Shang-Chi with high-level martial arts whenever. He's 62, but he looks great. He's just got to bring that big, physical, intimidating presence with him. Like, one of my favorite scenes, actually, was that one scene in the Netflix series when Punisher's in prison with Kingpin. And, like, D'Onofrio is just, like, towering over John Bernthal. I think there was probably some camera trickery in there, too. But it just is like, this is awesome. Seeing, like Punisher Frank acting all tough, but, like, you could tell that Wilson Fisk, like, he's just laughing at it. It's like, you don't know who I am. Like, right? It was just great. I think he can, because of the nature of the role, I think he can play it for another 10 years. I really, really do. Oh, wow. At least I hope he can. All right, what's next?
Andy Brake says, loving Hawkeye. Can't wait to see Echo's uncle, Mephisto, show up.
You know it's going to be
that
Mephisto.
Makes sense.
Uncle Mephisto. All right, what's next?
Oh, sorry. Fry Minis says, Kim's makeup is always great. Ray's more rouge.
Ray, skipping out on the rouge again.
Oh, come on, man. There's no camera tricks will fix this. This is what you get, buddy.
Shut up. Oh my God. Sebastian Gonzalez sends in a super chat. Thank you so much. You guys,
Thank you, Sebastian.
you guys are
Appreciate
crazy.
that.
Michael Serda says 10 days. I'm ready to go MIA from social media.
Yeah, I mean,
10 days.
it is crazy. It's 10 days now.
After that person said the song leaked.
Yeah.
And even had the track names.
Oh.
They were nice enough not to say anything. But
Yeah.
after I saw that, you guys, I just decided that I'm going to totally ghost social media probably like today.
Yeah, probably time to go dark.
I've done that for like 20 years of my life. It's real easy, buddy. It's not that hard.
Somebody wrote in yesterday. Somebody wrote in that I addressed on the companion video, saying, the movie's going to come out in certain places before it opens where I am. I want to stay off social media, but he didn't say what his job was. He goes, part of my job is being on social media.
No.
How do I avoid spoilers? And here's what I said. I said, look, and I mean this wholeheartedly, and I say this to all of my film-loving brothers and sisters around the world. Number one, you're just going to have to accept you're going to hear things. Because once a general audience sees it, it's going to spread like wildfire. So there's that. But the other thing is this. I really don't think it matters. And I mean that because of this. I knew the Titanic sank before I saw Titanic. It did not ruin the movie. The reason it didn't ruin the movie is because the movie was a strong movie. Titanic is a strong movie with great writing and great performances and a great story and characters and dynamics that you get attached to and love, all the way up to that selfish woman not making space on the floating board
No.
for poor Leonardo DiCaprio to get on. But no, seriously, it's knowing that the Titanic sinks at the end does not ruin it.
Oh my God.
It's, to me, real spoilers are not who pops up as a cameo in the movie. That's not a real spoiler. There's very few movies that I consider to have real spoilers. Like, if you know who Kevin Spacey actually is in The Unusual Suspects, that's a real spoiler because that fundamentally alters the way you see the whole movie.
Yeah.
If you know the real nature of Bruce Willis's character at the end of Sixth Sense, that actually changes the way you see the entire movie. Wong pops up at the end of Shang-Chi. That is not that.
No.
That isn't that. I mean, maybe it takes away from a bit of the surprise you would have had in the theater. Okay, but it doesn't really change. I would say this. If let's say for argument's sake, Charlie Cox does appear in this movie in No Way Home. Maybe you knowing that or assuming that going in, maybe that mute or deadens the surprise of that one moment a little bit for you. But I would say this. If that ruined the movie for you, then the movie wasn't very good to start with. If knowing that Andrew and Toby pop up at some point, if that doesn't just kind of deaden the surprise of that moment for you, but it actually knowing it ruined the movie for you, well, if you're saying that surprise was the only thing this movie had going for it, then the movie wasn't very good to start with. That's kind of my take on this. So yes, you'd rather keep the surprises, but know this, if between now and when this movie opens, like some of those surprises come across your social media feed or whatever, that's a bummer. But take heart. If the movie's good, it ain't going to ruin the movie for you. And if it does, then the movie wasn't very good to start with. At least that's my take on it. So be strong, hang tough. We're only 10 days away. All right, what's next?
Taylor Smith says, "Hey, John, just recently started watching your channel, mainly do the podcast because I'm an EMT. Thank you for
wow.
helping me through some tough calls." Thank you for what you do.
Yeah, but first of all, we talk about my movie-going heroes are the ones who man the things. Our real-life heroes are people like you. So thank you for that, and thank you for the honor of having us along with you on our podcast forum. So thanks for that, man. It's an honor. All right, what's next?
Cam K says, "Sorry, just realized I wrote a question."
Oh, I missed it. I didn't even notice. All right, what's next?
Sam Fisher says, who is the Ginger Rogers to Tom Holland's Fred Astaire? Who's Ginger? Who is Ginger?
Yeah,
and they wrote it like that.
Yeah,
That's why I said that.
I don't know. Who could, maybe it could be, look, I don't know. Maybe they go full, it wouldn't make sense, but they could go full novelty on this, make Zendaya. Even though so I don't know. That's a question
dance.
we're going to have to ask. That's a
Well,
question.
I wanted to mention, I was telling you before the show, I was asking you about Jamie Bell, how Jamie Bell actually played Billy Elliot in the
Jamie
movie.
Bell's great.
But he's doing a Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers biopic on Amazon.
Amazon, right.
Which is Andy McDowell's daughter is playing Ginger. So there's one Ginger for you.
All right, what's next?
Chris Barcenas says Spider-Man No Way Home opening weekend, $170 million.
I can see that. I can see 170 million. And that would be amazing. That's like double what the current existing record is. All right, what's next?
Brian learns stuff, and he brings us one of two. If you need an Andy Serkis fix, I highly recommend Heavenly Sword, a game, but you can watch the cutscenes on YouTube. He's the main antagonist, King Bohan. So flipping, entertaining, over-the-top cheese. He was so much fun to watch in the role. Bring on the filthy.
I am completely unaware of that game, but I love me some Andy Serkis, man. So thanks for putting that on my radar. I actually get a kick off of watching video game cutscene movies on YouTube. I actually get a kick out of those, so I might have to check that out. Thanks for putting that on my radar, Brian. All right, what's next?
Daniel Lyon sends in a $20 super
Thank
chat.
you, Daniel.
Thank you so much. Hey, John, I'm going into Spider-Man with one spoiler that I want to know and getting done with it. If Andrew and Toby are in it, I want to get that out of the way. If it's wrong, I'm still going to treat the movie normally.
Yeah, honestly, if they are in the movie, which I think everybody's assumed for a year that they are, then I think it's not going to happen until like at least the second part of the movie, maybe even the third act, or who knows, maybe they pop up 10 minutes into the film. I have no idea, but I totally feel what you're saying, Daniel. I totally do. But again, even if they're not in it, that shouldn't ruin the movie for you. Like look, I'm going to be straight up. Inside laugh when I read people say, if they're not in it, I'm going to hate this movie. Well, then, wow, you don't know much about movies. And if your entire movie-going experience is based on one little a cameo or things popping up and that takes away, then you don't know much about films and you're not really much of a film fan. So yeah, I get sense you being disappointed. You ruined the movie for me if they're not in it. Well, then that's on you. Then you're a sucker. That's on you. If the movie's good, the movie's good. If it's bad, it's bad. It has nothing to do with whether those two guys are in it or not.
But you can be disappointed.
Yeah, you can be disappointed in
You
that
know?
moment. But to say the entire movie is now ruined for you, that's, you know what, to me, that's like saying this to me. It's like saying, I really like purple hair on girls. A guy saying, I love purple hair on girls. And a guy meets the girl of his dreams. She's kind and generous and supportive and has great empathy for her fellow human beings. And she's intelligent and ambitious and just wonderful in all ways and has purple hair. That's like, and then you two fall madly in love and have a wonderful relationship. And then you wake up one day and like she changed one bit of the hair color here from purple to blue, and you're going, that's it, my entire relationship is garbage now. Well, then you were an asshole to start with. It ain't on her. So that's what it's like to me. Anyway, all right, what's next?
Double B Studios says, hi, John. Even if I don't get chosen to go to your private showing, I hope you had a chance to watch me, my wife, and son dressed up as Spider-Man's and woman for our private show audition. Lots of fun and bloopers and memories.
By the way,
That's
Double,
so
I'll let you know, I
cool.
haven't gone through all the submissions yet. I've gotten through like maybe a quarter of the submissions. So I have to set some time aside in the next day or two to go through all of them, and then give out we still got some spots available left for our private screening. But I'm looking forward to watching that, Double B. Thanks for telling me about it, dude. All right, what's next?
Ben Rayner sends in a super chat and says, is it possible that I think he means one. Yeah. One of the directors back for The Matrix, maybe it will help the movie. Keep it focused from a singular voice. I'm choosing to look optimistic. I'm pumped for this movie.
Well, I don't know. Look, it was the dynamic of the two that gave us the original Matrix.
True.
It's like saying, well, yeah, the Russos, they did an all right job with Endgame, but if it was just one of them, it would have been better. I don't know. They have a dynamic as a unit of directors. Now, granted, they then made depreciating quality in the following Matrix movies, and then they made some of the worst films in history to me after that. Oh, Jupiter. Anyway, but maybe you're right. Maybe only having one of them back will be to the film's benefit. Never know. It could be. All right, what's next?
Excuse me. Cincinnati's 5-star barber says, Potterhead here.
Nice.
Let's go. Go Gryffindor. My New Year's has been set and so hyped for The Matrix. First night, IMAX.
Nice. And yeah, I know a lot of Potterheads are going to be super excited. Sorry about the Bengals this weekend, Ray.
Oh.
Yeah, but they lost to a good team. It's not like they lost to. It's not like they lost to the Lions like Minnesota did. Like they lost to a good team. So
Oh, they did. They lost to the Lions?
no, Minnesota. Yeah, the Vikings lost to the Lions. Lions won their
okay.
first game of the year, and they acted like they just won the Super Bowl. It was actually,
course.
it was really fun to see those guys like finally get that monkey off their
Yeah.
back. Anyway, all right, what's next?
J Master says, breaking news from Deadline. Destin Daniel Cretton inks overall deal with Marvel Studios and Hulu, set for Disney Plus, MCU series, and Shang-Chi sequel. Disney has made it official and confirmed Shang-Chi 2.
Yeah, well, look, we all knew Shang-Chi 2 was coming. I mean, with its performance and all that kind of stuff, it was absolutely coming. I did see that. We are going to make that one of our topics on the John Campea Show tomorrow, so we'll go more in depth on that tomorrow. But thanks for throwing that in there, J Master. All right, what's next?
Dinosaurs Limbo says, have you guys seen Amy Pascal's new do? I don't know what it is with crazy haircuts, but it's usually an indicator for artistic brilliance.
Maybe, but no. I can say I have not seen Amy Pascal's new do. I'm sure it's very fitting on her, though, whatever it is. All right, what's next?
Mike Hill sends in a super chat. There's a Matrix theory that the real world still isn't the actual real world, but just another Matrix layer. It could explain how Neo and Trinity are back.
I can tell you right now, I will think that is stupid. I will think that is stupid. If you're retconning, like, you know what I hate? When new movies in a series retcon everything that's happened in the previous movie. You are literally then going back and saying, oh yeah, everything that you thought was about the original Matrix movie, yeah, none of that was true. I hate that.
I don't like that either.
I hate that. So I don't know. Well, I hope that's not true. All right, we'll see. What's next?
Cincinnati's 5-star barber says, Spidey, The Witcher, The Matrix, Book of Boba, Cobra Kai, Potter reunion, Into the Spider-Verse. I mean, can we all say nerdgasm? My new year is set.
I'll tell you what, as Rob would say, it is an embarrassment of riches. We have a lot of really cool, exciting stuff coming down the pipe, and it is a good time to be a fan, man. It really is. All right, what's next?
Al Renshaw said, we need a bet between John, Ray, and Kim on Spider-Man makes 200 million plus. We all want to see photos from your Star Wars fan film and breakdancing video.
Well, the breakdancing video thing will never happen.
It totally will.
It will never happen. But still, you know what? Give me one quick second. Let me see.
Oh, he's gonna give it to you now.
Let me see.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's
Let me
Christmas.
see if I can happen to maybe find an image out there. Let me see if I can find an image right now. I don't see one anywhere.
Oh.
I don't see one anywhere.
Oh.
All right, you know what? I will find one at some point.
I need some graphic artists.
I will find one at some point, and I will share it with you guys. At some point, I will share it with you guys. All right, what's next?
I want someone to put your head on like some clips of Breakin'. Remember that movie?
Oh, no. When
And
I say I will show, I don't mean breakdancing stuff. I mean Rise of the Trapeze.
I know, but I want someone to put like a
like
deep
that.
fake
On Turbo's head?
on Shabadoo.
Yep.
Anyway,
someone's gonna do it now.
KH says, even before a pandemic, I never went to the theaters, not for Star Wars, Infinity War, or Endgame, but I'm going to see No Way Home Friday morning.
Wow. Dude, all I can tell you is you missed out on some great experiences in the theaters from that. But listen, this is as good as one as any to get started back in. So I hope you have a good time, KH. All right, what's next?
Okay, I think is it Nico Porestros? I want to get your name right,
Nicholas.
dude. Nicholas. Okay, just looks different. Greetings from Greece. Did you guys also have time to see that soundtrack for No Way Home got leaked yesterday, which Sony took down really fast?
Yeah, we spoke about that already, and it might be one of those Qui-Gon Noble end moments. So, but we're not going to talk about it out loud here. We're not going to talk about it. All right, what's next?
Double B Studio says, Kim thinks Spider-Man movie makes over 250, yes, and John 190. Bet.
I don't think Kim wants to put a bet on this one. I just don't see.
You don't know what Kim wants to do. Kim wants to put a bet on anything.
You want to put a bet on?
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Yes, I will be
Yeah.
the officiator.
Yeah.
Okay, we will come up with a bet. We will set the over/under line
come
at
up with a bet.
249.5,
Okay.
and we will come up with something we can bet. I'll just tell you right now, it will not be ketchup on eggs. That I don't know how I avoided vomiting.
Yeah, not on eggs. We'll blend it up.
No,
It'll
no,
be
no,
ketchup
no, no.
in
There will
eggs.
be no ketchup and egg variations of any kind. But we will come up
we'll
with
do a bet.
something, and we'll set the
We'll do a
over/under
bet.
line at 249.5.
We'll do a bet.
Okay, we'll come up with
All right,
something. All right,
cool,
what's
cool.
next?
Al Renshaw says we need a bet. Hashtag we stand with Kim.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
Oh, no.
Jay Soto says bet some eggs on it with extra ketchup.
No, that ain't ever happened again. Never happening again, Jay Soto.
You know how Jelly Bellies have all those flavors?
Yes.
I want to find ketchup and eggs Jelly
Oh,
Belly.
I would lose that bet if I had to eat ketchup and eggs. I'll just lose it on purpose.
Yeah.
Martin Prieto says, tears will roll down my face if I see Toby swinging with the Danny Elfman music score and Charlie is back as Daredevil.
Remember, again, just to be accurate, Kevin Feige never said he is back as Daredevil. He just said, if we ever do Daredevil, it will be Charlie Cox. So make of that as you will. All right, what's next?
John Redcorn says, Hardy's Venom and Leto's Morbius will appear in Spider-Verse 2 or 3. Book it. Remember the first Venom post-credits? It is kind of connects to Spider-Verse.
No, it doesn't. That was just Sony. That was just Sony promoting an upcoming thing they had. I don't think there was any connection there. But I mean, hey, look, I don't think we're going to see Morbius or Venom, not these iterations of Morbius and Venom in Spider-Verse at all. But anything's possible. Anything is possible, Redcon. All right, what's next?
Caden Stab says, I'll say it. No Way Home, 300 million opening weekend.
All right. Only one other film in history has ever done it, and we're in a pandemic.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but hey, I love the enthusiasm. All right, what's next?
Dante Serechia says, Shang-Chi sequel announced with Destin Daniel Cretton. Woo! Love you 3. Bring on the filthy.
Yeah, and we will talk about that in more detail tomorrow. But again, I mean, we all knew a sequel was coming, but it is nice that it's official. All right, what's next?
D-Bow the Black Panther sends in a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. The lady in yellow is a goddess.
Well, I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah.
And by the way, that I just want to point out that shirt that Ray is wearing is actually blue, not yellow. So I'm just want to clear up any
And I am a
confusion.
goddess.
And
What character is that?
that is a very nice sweater, though. That's a nice shirt. I do like
Oh!
He's talking about you.
You didn't know he was talking about you?
I was like, what character is that? And who
Oh,
plays
no,
her?
he's talking about you.
Thank you. It's avocado green. Thank you.
I was about to say, but it's not really yellow, is it?
It's avocado.
It's an avocado.
Got
I
an
like it.
avocado.
It matches your earrings.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right,
Avocado.
what's next?
Thank you. Black Rice 19 says, Endgame opening weekend feels like Wilt's 100-point game. It's not getting broken anytime soon. No Way Home opens less than 200 million. I'm with Kim.
But Kim is saying it's over 250 million, and you're saying it's no, you're with me.
Oh,
You're with me. So I agree. I mean, I think it can get close to 200. I think it can get close to 200, but I'll take around the 200, maybe even a little bit south of that. We'll see. Apparently, there's a bet coming. All right, what's next?
Skinny Guru says, it would definitely be Endgame. We have 3 different generations of Spider-Man. That's close, if not longer, than the build-up to Endgame.
No.
That's a good
kinda
point.
true. That's
That's a
kinda true.
good point.
All those Spider-Mans from the past. Yep.
Yeah, but it's also Spider-Mans that a lot of the audience hasn't even seen those Spider-Mans. And this has been Endgame was one continuous 20 plus movies for 10 plus years.
Connected to each other.
With 15 plus A-list Hollywood stars, all in one continuous story, but it's not coming close to Endgame. I mean, I think most people will agree with that it's not going to come close to Endgame. Like Endgame is like even 100 million over the second place movie, which is Infinity War. It's not happening. Now, here's the thing too. You're not wrong in that we got several generations of the Spider-Man character, but I think everybody who's a fan of Spider-Man is watching these Spider-Man movies anyway. So I don't know. We'll find out. It might be a huge shocker. We'll have to see. All right, what's next?
Merle Jehovah says, holy blue pill. I wasn't going to see Matrix 4 in the theater, but after the latest trailer, I now have to see all the glorious action scenes on the biggest AMC Dolby screen available. Keep up the great work, guys, and bring on the filthy.
I'll tell you what, as somebody who is not excited for this movie, those trailers are awesome. They are awesome. There's no taking away from it. And if this movie can get close to delivering on the promise of the trailers, it could be very, very special. So let's wait and see. All right, what's next?
Daniel Lyon says, apologies, part 2. Even without Toby and Andrew, the movie will be great. I want to know the stories and explanation of the villains and how the movie will show each villain with how they interact.
Listen, there's a lot of cool possibilities in this.
By the
way, I don't remember if we mentioned, but Marley Jehovah wrote, sent in like $20 of a super chat.
Thank you, Marley.
Thank you for that so much, Marley. Appreciate that very much. And as far as Daniel, the possibilities of the cool things you could do, like what is Electro's reaction just to popping up in a completely new universe, right? And then confronting other super villains, and then seeing an iteration of Spider-Man, if not 3 of them. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities there, man. You're absolutely right. All right, what's next? Sam
Malaby, says, I was shook with the No Way Home prediction. It seems too huge for a movie during a pandemic.
It does. That's why I wasn't shocked about the 150 to 185 projection that Box Office Pro put out last week. That seemed like it was feasible. That seemed very reasonable. 190 to 250 in the current era does seem like a stretch, but I do think, like, as new information becomes available, we change what our thoughts are. But I now think 200 million may not be unrealistic. 200 million may not be realistic. I don't see 250, but man, it would be awesome if it did. Yeah.
Okay. This is a weird way for me to gauge things since I'm not really into the box office numbers or whatever. But the reason why I don't think it's going to make as much as Endgame is because I you know me, I watch a lot of YouTube reactions to trailers.
Yes,
right?
You do.
And I remember Infinity War and Endgame. Just Endgame itself, a whole channel was open just for the reactions from China and all right. And I just don't see as much reactions to these trailers as I did with those 2 movies. That's a weird way to gauge things because you never know. It's like the worst.
A good one though.
But I do notice there's a lot less people reacting to the trailers than there were for those movies.
I think that's actually a really interesting thing to point out. We'll see. We'll see. All right, what's next?
Miss Marvel says, I wish you success in all your endeavors. Happy belated birthday, Kim.
That's right. Friday was, of course, Kim's birthday, and happy belated to her, of course. What's
Appreciate
next?
That. Andrew Shum says, did you see the TV spot they just released with Willem Dafoe's face reveal as Green Goblin? He looks good. The de-aging looks pretty seamless.
Yeah, so you guys remember last week, the thing came up where, okay, now we've had 2 trailers and character posters, and they're still not showing Willem Dafoe's face. Now, I said on that show, look, I believe it's Willem Dafoe. It is Willem Dafoe. But I don't think it's crazy to think maybe it couldn't be. Maybe they're gonna have the voice and everything, and then the helmet's gonna come off and somebody else entirely. Well, at Brazil's Comic-Con, they had a villains panel. And Willem Dafoe was on it. And then new spot came out where you actually see Willem Dafoe's face. So that whole question has been put to bed. All right, what's next?
Power says, oh snap, John got a sponsor. Today, Raycon, and tomorrow, Zevia.
Well, Raycon's actually been, great. They've been a sponsor of the show for a little bit now. And yeah, we're super grateful to Raycon for being here and a part of this. But those cheap sons of bitches at Zevia, man. Zevia, sponsor me, you stubborn, insufferable, cheap sons of bitches. Nobody on this planet has raised awareness.
I didn't know about slime.
Nobody did.
You drink it.
Nobody's ever heard of Zevia until Campea came along.
Yeah.
Campea made it happen. That's why you're a household name.
Oh, Zevia. Wow. You household name, huh?
Hold on.
What about Ravia?
Ravia? What's Ravia?
I have earbuds, Raycons.
Oh, Raycon.
I'm gonna come out with a drink too.
Oh my God. Well, you are the chef.
Ravia.
Ravia. Chef of
Pleasure.
Chef of pleasure.
Pleasures. I need some background music when I say that.
What's that company that makes your meals for you, then delivers it? Is it Blue Apron?
Blue Apron.
That's right.
Or Hello
Blue Apron.
Fresh.
Blue Apron should have a brand new mascot. It's Ray, Chef of Pleasures.
The box is velvet.
Blue Apron. Blue.
That's-
Your sexual dishes. And it's just like every dish is like strawberries with hot fudge and like some sort of spread,
I can't.
edible oils, everything.
Edible.
I'm gonna save some marriages. Or create some affairs, whatever. Chef Pleasures don't care as long as y'all making love.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay.
All right, well, so where were we at on the what's next?
What's
All right. Sam Fisher says, where can I get that box? No, Sam Fisher says, so obvious news is obvious, but Destin Daniel Creighton just announced he is returning for Shang-Chi sequel and announced a Disney Plus spin-off series.
Yes, and again, absolutely, and I'm very
crap.
excited about it. We will talk about it more in depth tomorrow on the John Campea Show. All right, what's next?
Bobby Jackson says, I need to see Campea versus Holland breakdance battle.
Oh my god, the breakdance.
Get it.
I'll tell you what.
Get it. Get it. Get
Campea
it.
in his prime.
Oh man, the legend.
Oh, shoot.
When I used to break out my all blue with white trim Adidas windbreaker outfit,
Adidas.
Adidas.
Yeah.
and we would throw down, we put on some Cool Mo D.
Oh my god.
Put on some Cool Mo
Man, these are so specific. It happened. It happened now. I believe it now. Kumo D. You don't bring up Kumo D for nothing.
we throw down that cardboard.
Oh,
I'll tell you what.
I'll be spinning.
Oh my goodness. I was popping and locking and Campea in his day. But Campea, even in his day, was not as good as Tom Holland. Tom Holland's so good. I mean, I was good for a Hamilton breakdancer, but Tom Holland is legit.
He is.
Tom Holland is like real dancer. I was not a real dancer. Like Tom Holland is totally legit. All right, what's next?
Diego Ramirez says, freeze. Everybody clap your hands.
Yeah, get that a lot at the LA Laker games. All right, what's next?
oh yeah, they have nothing to clap about right now.
Oh my gosh. J.R. Wheeler sends in a $199.99 super chat.
My computer just turned off when.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, Zevia, if J.R. Wheeler, if J.R. Wheeler can deliver, why can't your cheap ass? No, seriously, JR, thank you so much, man. Thank you for supporting our channel on that level. What does JR have to say?
JR says, Tom Holland looks like he is following the Hugh Jackman playbook in role selections. Smart move, as this will keep him relevant in various genres for decades.
Listen, it is really important that you choose the right kinds of roles. Because, like, again, even though, like, I was not a fan of Cherry, I was not a fan of even whatever the name of that movie is, Walking Chaos, Chaos Walking, Chaos Face, whatever it's called.
Chaos.
The thing is, he's making the right kinds of choices for and he's diversifying.
Yes.
He's never going to just be known as one kind of actor, and he's really making some very, very smart decisions on that. So you're absolutely right. And again, JR, thank you so much. Our channel is able to exist because you folks watch the show and support the show, and thank you for supporting us on that level, JR. And me and the whole community, thank you.
Also, John, I never do reviews on Super Chat comments, but that one is a 10 out of 10.
Chef Pleasures.
No other reason. No other. It's just a 10 out of 10. That's it.
Thank you again for that, JR. Very, very much, man. All right, what's next?
Sidious Swift says, Tom Holland to play Pisces in biopic of the Zodiac Crew. $500 million budget, directed by Ridley Scott. Streaming on Apple Plus only.
For those of you who do not know, yes. So me and the fellow members of my crew, we all donned different zodiac sign names, and I was Pisces. I was Pisces. There you go.
It's
I'm
fitting.
impressed that Sidious remembered that. All right, what's next?
Calvin Patel says Amazon is also making a Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers
as
movie
Kim pointed out,
called Fred and Ginger, starring Jamie Bell and Margaret Qualley.
As Kim already pointed out, it's going to be really interesting. It's always neat when these competing movies of the same topic comes out, like whether it's there was Volcano, and what was the name of the The other one that
Oh
came out.
yeah, I remember that. It was Volcano didn't that have?
Pierce Brosnan and
Yes, Pierce Brosnan was in it, and it was called. It's the name
girl
of the
from Terminator.
Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak.
Quirky Joe was the first one in the live chat to come up with it. Dante's Peak, as did K Major and Walter. Yeah. So you had that. You had Armageddon and
Space Cowboys.
No, the
Little
yeah, I know which one you're talking about. The
Little
one with the
Spider-Man.
comments.
The one with Morgan Freeman as the president.
Yeah,
Morgan Freeman is the president.
and I
What's
love that
one?
movie.
Deep Impact. K
Deep
Major was the first one to
Impact.
come out. Deep Impact. So it's kind of cool when you get these two movies of the similar topics coming out, kind of competing, seeing which one is better. So that's going to be interesting. All right, what's next?
Official Friend Zone says, I think we will see a ton of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2. I mean, the possibilities are endless. 1995 Spider-Man, animated Andrew or Toby, Miles in the MCU.
Again, with all the stuff going on with multiverse stuff, I still right now believe, and listen, I'm not going to be shocked if I find out they're doing something different, but right now, I really believe Sony is isolating that animated world. I think that is going to be its own thing. You never know. All the possibilities are there, man. They're all there. All right, what's next?
Owen Swanson says, has he talked about the leaked soundtrack?
Yeah, we did. We're not going to go into details, obviously, but we did. And by the way, we don't even, right now, I don't even know if those are legit. I don't even know if it's real.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
it's not to see. All right, what's next? But by the way, I will say this: if you are somebody who has come across those leaks, it's not telling us anything we don't already know. Can we stop pretending surprises of finding out X when we've all known for a year that X is happening? Look, 4 months ago, when the Andrew Garfield video of Andrew Garfield came out on set in his Spider-Man costume. Now, granted, some people like me thought it was fake. And it was debunked, but then the debunking got debunked instantly. And the video was legit. And it's like, okay, we've all like, we all know. Everybody knows. There's nothing left to surprise. Everybody knows. All right, what's next?
Official Friend Zone says they had a 9-minute No Way Home villains panel debut online with the Spider-Verse trailer. Seeing Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, and Jamie Foxx together was great.
Yeah, and that put an end to the whole question about Willem Dafoe. Like, I put that whole thing to bed, but it was pretty cool to see. And I have got to get down. I think it's called CCXP. I think that's the name of the Brazilian Comic-Con. That has been getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year.
I was going to say huge stuff, bro.
I have got to get down to that. I think, you know what? I think next year, maybe the whole John Campea Show crew goes to Brazil. I think we go to Brazil. Ray's shaking his head. No.
I'm sorry, but one of my favorite boxers of all time was murdered in his house in Brazil.
Oh my God.
You know how many people got murdered in the United States?
I know. No. But you know what?
Look.
Brazil looks like a beautiful country. I'm down.
And
Yeah.
the food and the dancing.
It's the home of Hoist Gracie and
The
Gracie
food.
Jiu-Jitsu.
And the food.
Yeah.
And the food and the culture.
And
And
the women.
the women.
Chef pleasures.
Chef pleasure. Come and get ready, Brazil.
I'm about to cook you some dinners. Some long, huge dinners.
Oh my God.
Who's ready to eat? Women in Brazil.
God.
Let's go.
This flipped so
What about
quickly.
CCXP? What about that?
CCXP, big
Oh yeah, that's
Comic-Con.
just a side,
Big Comic-Con.
a side thing I'll do on the side.
Comic-Con.
But there's a main mission for me there.
What's next?
I'm the worst. I'll be banned from YouTube. in no time.
I literally cannot. Brulio Show says, John, as a Marvel diehard fan, I feel so bad that I hated Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh,
What? I know all film is subjective. I do love Miles, just not the
Hey,
film.
listen, that's the thing. All film is subjective. Listen, I have people tell me all the time, I watched the original Star Wars movies. I didn't like them. I had literally had someone just 2 weeks ago say, I finally got around to watching The Godfather. It's kind of overhyped.
Hey,
I mean, there are people saying watch Endgame. It's not very good. Like this, that's the beautiful thing about film. It's all subjective. Each one of us has our own unique experience with every piece of art we come across. And your experience is going to be different than mine. And if that one didn't work for you, it didn't work for you. And that's the beautiful thing about movies, man. So don't you worry about that. All right, what's next?
Chips Bewick says, John, super dope crew. Talk about how you felt after watching Miles's Uncle Ben moment. It rocked me in the theater. I almost cried.
Which one was Miles's Uncle Ben moment? Oh, with his uncle. Oh, that's right.
Ew.
With Prowler.
Ew.
Oh, that was great. First of all, I got to say, I did not. I know a lot of other people did. And I'm usually really quick on picking up. It's like, oh, yeah, this guy's going to be this. Like, I'm usually really good and quick in that. The revelation of Miles's uncle as Prowler, that actually caught me by surprise. My mind was totally going in a different direction. And first of all, just when he first shows up at his uncle's house and comes through the window and they just have that, like he's trying to teach him how to be smooth, like how to say, hey, right?
Yeah,
Even just
cute.
trying to teach. I loved that relationship. That was so great. And then to find out his uncle was Prowler and then the death of Prowler. I mean, just one of the reasons why it was my third favorite movie of the year. Absolutely loved
Real
that.
consequences there.
Oh, yeah. All right. What's next?
Ross Pitt, Shark Hunter says, got to make a bet with Kim for those predictions.
I mean, I really think you're in trouble, Kim.
She ain't afraid.
Oh, big talk.
Big talk.
Big talk.
Lots of talking.
All right. What last one here today? What's this last one?
This comes from Joshua Mickle. The villains special panel of Defoe, Alfred, and Fox sitting together answering questions for 10 minutes was awesome to see them talk together.
And just so you guys know, that is available on YouTube. You can jump on YouTube, look that up. It's all out there. It looks great. Then we just wait a few more days till the third trailer comes, which I still think is happening. I'm not willing to put money on it, but I think it's going to happen.
That trio is awesome right there. Just them three
Oh,
right there.
yes.
On a panel. Wow.
Because even that alone is mixing Spider-Man universes. It's mixing the Toby and the Andrew
I'm so
Spider-Man
happy
universe.
just to see all these villains. I don't need anything else.
You know what I'm interested in, though? Why not have Thomas Hayden Church up there with that? Why not have Reese fans up there?
That might be the question right there, the Thomas Hayden Church thing.
Yeah.
He might not even be human form.
Yeah, we
in
might
the
not
whole
even see him in the movie. I mean, I mean, he's listed in the IMDb. That doesn't necessarily mean anything.
But that there's gonna be some cool sound effects. We're gonna get at least a couple of sound effects that are gonna be mind blowing.
You raise a great point that not only do we get to revisit these characters, we're gonna see these characters now done with updated visual effects technology.
Right.
Like I think Doc Ock is now gonna look better than he's ever looked before. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing with it is these characters, they all have one goal. These villains is kill Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe Doc Ock is the only one that actually has a conscience and cares. Oh, that's not my Peter Parker. But all the rest have this goal. So as in backstory wise, like, you know how I want a backstory to all of them, but there might not be enough time.
Yeah.
We all have to understand they just have one goal, and that's to kill Spider-Man.
But even Doc Ock, his ending in Spider-Man 2, he dies a hero. Like, remember, he dies a hero at the end of Spider-Man 2. That's why I totally believe in this one, he's actually going to end up fighting alongside of Spider-Man. But yeah, we'll see.
10 days.
10 days.
10 days.
10 days from now. Oh, it's going to be a good day.
You know why we got to get that merch going? Because we should have done an little Advent shirt.
Oh, an Advent calendar.
For Spider-Man.
Like
because
10
with the
days.
holidays, the date's perfect. We could have totally done it.
Totally cheap acid. I would buy like 100 Fruit of the Loom plain white t-shirts, and I'd literally just take a marker and make a calendar and just stick little M&Ms on it with tape and mail it to you. And every day you pluck one of the M&Ms off.
M&M's all broken, smeared on the shirt,
and melted in the heat of the truck.
USPS special. Step on your package.
All right, guys, listen.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
This is normally the part of the show now. Thank you for everybody sending your comments. This is normally the part of the show now where we switch gears and go over and start taking your questions, because you guys have fired in a lot of questions over the weekend. However, we're already been about 2.5 hours today. So I think, unfortunately, we're not going to get to any of the questions that were sent in today. Again, we went real long. We had like 7 topics to talk about here today. A lot of people wanted to write in the live chat talking about the Spider-Man situation and Charlie Cox. So what I'm going to do, we're going to do a big companion video a little bit later. I know we just had one last night, but we're going to do another big companion video today. We're going to get to all those questions that you guys had sent in. So check in for that a little bit later today. And I will promise you, we will make sure we get to the questions part of the show tomorrow. Today was just a lot came up. And of course, tomorrow now we got to talk about Shang-Chi. Got to talk about that tomorrow. That and a whole bunch more. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here today and making this show a part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in those comments. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. Number two, you supported this channel as you did it. And all of us involved with the John Campea Show, thank you guys so very much for your support. I want to thank, of course, Kim, who's going to lose that $250 million opening bet to me. Can't wait to see what we come up with to put at stake here. Where can people follow you online?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram at wasgoodkimberly. Please be good to one another.
And of course, Blue Apron's new spokesperson, Ray, where people follow
Brazil.
you. Show people that Brazil.
All of you add me. Ray Aura with a 0. I'm coming for you.
By the way, what's that shirt you're wearing? I can't remember.
Oh, it's a Dragon Ball Z Go Tanks right here.
Oh, that's what it was. I only saw the top of it from where I was singing. It looks pretty cool. I like that. And of course, guys, you can follow me on Twitter. I do a lot of announcements and keep you guys up to date with stuff on Twitter. Just follow me at Twitter or on Instagram, simply at John Campea. That'll do it for us for now, guys. Thank you so much for being here. My name is John Campea, and until tomorrow, my friends, or the companion video later, bye-bye.